one of my friends got tear a couple days ago. So, yep.
Dude, I kind of wish I was there.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be really sweet to throw the tear gas back at him.
You put the cone on it and then pour the water in.
True.
That's what you're supposed
to do. That's a good tactic. Yeah, I do like that.
iDubbbz's, famous YouTuber iDubbbz from the Content Cop era, has posted. They did a 2-minute and 19-second compilation of all the times that Ian was like upset or creeped out that Anissa had a crush on the trainer, the guy, like the sparring partner, and it is just so good that I needed to open the segment with this.
I did not do my hair myself. I got it done by actually Ian's sparring partner.
That is a nuclear way to open, dude. That is a nuclear way to open. Wait, what? Dude, Ian's sparring partner had a one-on-one with me where he cut my hair.
I did not do my hair myself. I got it done by actually Ian's sparring partner.
Yeah.
I feel like that could be another soundbite. Dude, all of his like super depressed whimpering sound effects. I can't play it the whole time, but I swear to God, if you're watching Home Alone, just go get, not Home Alone the movie. If you're watching Home Alone, you're probably not watching me. If you're watching on your end, I can't play this because it'll destroy my stream. Look up M83 Solitude TikTok version, and now I'll give you like 30 seconds. Play it while we're doing this for the next 2 minutes.
I did not do my hair myself. I got it done by actually Ian's sparring partner. Ian's sparring partner actually does both of our hair, and he is awesome. He started cosmetology school in 1996. Actually got my hair done. It was at
how do they have multiple clips of her explaining this? Dude, I need these guys to make more content. They don't make a lot of content. Contrary to popular belief, there's not a lot of time that iDubbbz or Anissa are streaming or posting videos or posting podcasts. So the fact that new clips are coming at this rate that we're getting them means that every single time they fire up the camera, they've done something wrong.
Tweet
you know? Something hilarious happens every time they hit go live.
At a salon, but it was by Ian's sparring partner for boxing.
Dude, she got her hair cut twice this week.
I love that fact.
Dude, no!
Ian's sparring partner for boxing.
I love that fact.
Yeah, it's just such a fun fact.
Yeah.
He's been a cosmetologist since 1996.
And they're gonna gaslight you and be like, Ian's not uncomfortable here at all. He has no problem with this at all whatsoever.
On Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably stream on Wednesday.
I'll probably be getting my hair done.
Oh my God, dude. Sorry, I can't stream with you, honey. I gotta go hang out with your sparring partner.
Anissa will get her hair did. I don't think I've ever received a nice hair or I like your haircut compliment from a person, period. I gotta...
Dude, that means more people have walked up to him at conventions and told them and literally said the N-word than somebody's ever said that I like your hair. That is fucking depressing. More people have walked up to iDubbbz and said the worst racial slur you could imagine than complimenting his hair.
Pick Anissa up. She's stranded at the mall right now. She thought she could get her hair cut and then go mall shopping after.
Nicholas, the goat.
Dude, it's so hard not to make the obvious joke. Holy shit, dude.
Our hairdresser walked up to us, who's also Ian's sparring partner, when we were waiting to get our hair.
Why are there so many clips of this?
And he was like, Ian, you're allowed to smile.
I'm starting to think they missed Max's wedding because she needed a haircut. I think, isn't it that he literally missed Max's wedding because they were getting a tattoo? I thought it was a tattoo, which is equally as bad, by the way.
And he was like, Ian, you're allowed to smile.
Oh, no. Oh, dear.
Because you also just you feel like a loser. Like, even now, I'm like...
This guy fires up the stream and goes, no one likes my haircut. I'm a fucking loser.
Pretty good friends. I'm friendly with my hairdresser. But you know, I don't feel uncomfortable or awkward around him, but I do feel like a loser. I'm like, he probably has great conversations with everyone except me.
Oh god, dude. Oh god. You know what the problem is here? Ian and Anissa could have the healthiest relationship in the world. She could be the most loving wife on the planet. There's no thoughts of adultery. They could never fight. The OnlyFans stuff is purely as they say. There's nothing else going on, and everybody's wrong. But everything that comes out of Ian's mouth is cucked. Everything that comes out of Ian's mouth makes him sound like the most submissive Reddit cuck, asking if like asking on Reddit or whatever if your wife's boyfriend is allowed to sleep in the house. Like everything he says sounds horrible. You know what I mean? Like he is the stereotype cuck, even if his relationship is perfect. I legitimately think that is. He's bred for it. He's bred for it.
I'm like, I'm probably talking too much, or I'm not talking enough. Like,
because it's so hard not to look at this and go, he's like like a loser. Like, even if his wife is not doing anything wrong at all whatsoever, and the clips just look awful, he's still a cuck.
I'm pissing him off. It's like, that feels terrible.
Wait, you're pissing him off? What?
It's like, that feels terrible. My hairdresser, Gabe, did this multiple wicked uppercuts to me, and it's like made me like fucking see stars, basically. Yeah, my hairdresser, he boxes. He's brutal. He's this jacked 200+ pound dude with a bunch of tattoos. He kicks my ass.
And how did you prepare for...
Oh my god. Every clip is... And by the way, guys, unfortunately, there are no more... There's another clip. There's another clip right here. What is this clip? Why is there another clip? How are there so many clips?
Are there any guests that you have your eye on, maybe?
I want to get Ian's hairdresser.
Dude, immediately, no second thought, immediately wants to bring Ian's hairdresser on the podcast. I mean, dude, I'm sorry. I'm trying to be normal about this. I'm trying to be reasonable here. Immediately. Not even a cut, no jump cut or anything.
Are there any guests that you have your eye on, maybe?
I want to get Ian's hairdresser.
Yeah, that would be a... Are there any...
Dude, look at his fucking face! No!
Guests that you have your eye on, maybe?
I want to get Ian's hairdresser.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Holy... You know what this is? This is Sam from the H3 podcast. Holy fuck. Where is the Cutie Cinderella clip? This is literally the Sam cut from the Cutie Cinderella clip. Here, on the chestnuts clip?
Oh, here it is. Sorry, my bad. Here it is.
Where is it?
You're a monster, dude.
Ready?
You guys are crazy.
I recommend watching Nicholas DeOrio's latest video.
Zach, what the fuck, bro?
Anissa's boyfriend beat him worse than Dr. Mike, and
Thank
she
you.
jumped into his bed. Does she have a life insurance policy on
Bro,
him? This is bad.
It's the same picture.
I recommend watching Nicholas DeOrio's latest video.
Doesn't Gorgeous Gabe have DV charges against him? It was in a Keno Casino clip.
I'm not sure. I have no idea. I would have to check into that. But yeah, holy fuck, dude. No way. And by the way, another day, another clip of Jayla Ray. Jayla Ray talking about the fighting. So here she's going to give a new promo, chat. We've got a new Creator Clash promo for Creator Clash LA.
It's crazy to think that I was supposed to fight in like 2 weeks. Whoa. That's crazy. That's crazy. Ooh, LA though. That's cool. Yes, we're going to be fighting at the Hollywood Palladium. Tickets
The Hollywood Palladium. Whoa. All right, let's hear about that charity.
Hollywood Palladium. Tickets for that are already on sale. If you're on the West Coast, would love to see you. It's going to be a really, really cool event. We are raising money for Stand Up to Cancer.
How?
Yeah. If you have any questions or anything, pop in the Discord, ask them. I'd love to answer.
Wait, but how do we raise money? How is the charity being raised?
Any questions? I will be as transparent as possible.
Yeah, okay, but like, can you just tell me how do I give money to Stand Up for
Nicholas,
Cancer?
I will give you
Thank
the
you for the
information you
$5,
seek.
my man.
All right, mixed cereal. You need to chill. You're going to be taking a 30-minute break for that one. Let's not hop anywhere.
if you ask nicely and you aren't a dickhole on the internet.
No dick holes, guys. If you ask nicely, they'll tell you where to send the charity money. Guys, you have to be very nice. If you're mean about it, they won't tell you how to give those kids with cancer any money, okay? Thank you, Beazle, for clipping everything. Beazle, Comment Cop, and Yeet are like the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse. I'm the 4th one because I operate all those accounts secretly, but like those are like the 3 horsemen of the apocalypse. iDubbbz's imagine him... Wait, what? Comment Cop, did you put this on my docket? What is this? What the fuck is this clip?
One of my friends got tear gassed.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
One of my friends got tear gassed a couple days ago. So, yep.
Dude, I would... Man, I kind of wish I was there.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be really fucking sweet to throw the tear gas back at him.
Dude, this is like an intrusive thought. Chat, everyone's had this I don't believe that iDubbbz is alone in this. You ever hear... All right, I'm going to give you a fucking nuclear example. You ever hear of, like, there was a school shooting somewhere? If you're American, this happens all the time. You ever hear of a school shooting and you're sitting there being like, what would I do if I was there? And then you're thinking of this insane fucking hypothetical where you turn into, like, the scene from... it's like the Freebird scene from Kingsman, where you just start fist fighting with the guy, and then like like a group of armed people come into the school, and then all of a sudden you start beating the shit out of them, fucking diving around bullets like Neo in the Matrix, and then you save the day. Dude, I guarantee everybody has had this fucking intrusive hypothetical cross their mind, but I don't think any of them would say it out loud in such a manner. Like, dude, the LA riots are crazy, bro. I wish I was there. So, like, if I was there, I would totally pick up the tear gas and throw it back at the police officer. I'd save the whole day. Dude, I'd be on the fucking news, dude. They'd be looking into me.
One of my friends got tear gassed.
The police don't need your fucking support. They need a good old-fashioned ass whooping. That's what they need.
A couple days ago. So,
Nicholas,
yep.
The goat.
Dude, I would... Man, I kind of wish I was there.
Yeah.
Because I think it would be really fucking sweet to throw the tear gas back at him.
You put the...
You know who threw the... Actually, I'll be honest with you. What would happen...
Nicholas!
You want to know the real truth? I'll tell you what happens right now. iDubbbz, this is your reality. You and Anissa are outside at this fucking... At this rally, at this protest, at this riot, whatever your political leaning wants to call it, that's fine by me.
Did I not ask you nice enough?
And then all of a sudden, you see a woman surrounded by her 2 Mexican children.
She would make them eat cherries.
Hold on, wait, I gotta, 1 second. All right, there's a woman crying with her 2 Mexican children standing right there. Tear gas hits the ground. What happens next, folks? iDubbbz lunges. He runs in slow motion, folks. He's just about to get there. And as he puts his hand down, there's his hairdresser, swooping in to save the day, wearing a wife beater covered in oil, grabs the fucking tear gas, throws it at the police officers, and they hit him with 3 rubber bullets, but this man won't go down. And then iDubbbz shits his pants. That's the end of the story. There it is.
Cone on it and then pour the water in.
True.
That's what you're supposed to do.
Oh, that's a good tactic. Yeah, I do like that.
One of my friends got tear gassed.
Dude, I'm picturing... You know what I'm picturing right now? I'm picturing that Ethan's hairdresser is Jack Reacher. That's what I'm picturing right now. I'm picturing that Ethan's fucking hairdresser is Jack Reacher. And he just shows up, beats the shit out of Ian, and then fucking, like, swoops in. Like, in my hypothetical, that's who I thought it was. Dude, he looks Ian right in the eyes and go, "What are you doing, kid? You're gonna get yourself hurt. Go inside. Get out of here. What are you doing here?" Oh, fuck, dude. Yeah, that's from the H3 subreddit. Dude, holy shit. Dude, yeah, super based Thad Castle. All right, if we're gonna just keep going for these. Anissa, I always showered with Ian when he was here, and he peed on my leg once and thought it was funny. Oh, wait, not once. He would pee on my leg, and I thought it was funny. And he thought it was funny. So that's great. So that's cool. That's a new thing here. New info just dropped. Wait, Beazle had another tweet. I must not have clipped it. So yeah, apparently doing golden showers now. Again, like I keep telling you, I don't want to cover this stuff. I don't want to know this information. I feel kind of weird about it now, if we're being honest, that like I feel like I've done something wrong. I've committed some kind of atrocity because I know all this stuff. Like it feels like you've looked into their hard drives, you stole their iCloud logs, but they put this stuff online. It's all out there in the open. There's nothing I can do about it. What am I supposed to do? Not fucking cover a clip where apparently Anissa is about to vomit over Ian's tonsil stones live on stream?
I put in the behind the scenes.
Why does his wife hate him? That's a really good question. Why does Anissa hate her husband and keep putting him in situations like this?
I put in the behind the scenes, Fiona. See? Oh, fuck. Oh my god.
Oh, God. All he did was breathe. It's like a recoil effect.
Behind the scenes, Fiona. See? Oh, fuck. Oh my god. What the hell?
I need to drown that out with some more mango.
Don't you never had a woman me, bro. I'm not some fucking conservative account saying that a woman's got a stomach or something, or going like, huh, do all these women have this meat flap? It's like, yeah, you've obviously never seen a woman naked before. This is ridiculous. Why would you date somebody, marry somebody who embarrasses you this way when your whole life is online? When your income is online, why would you date someone like this who does this to you?
Yeah.
Why would you allow yourself to be clipped on a Nicholas DeOrio live stream and not just ask her to stop?
Fiona. See? Oh, fuck. Oh my god. What the hell?
I need to drown that out with some more mango.
Dude, I'm gonna say that next time. I'm gonna be on stream, they're gonna be like, Nicholas, address Chud Logic, address Tommy, and I'll be like, I'm gonna drown that out with some mango. Oh, dude, we're gonna have some mango. And then I saw this thread. This is the last thing before we get in the actual
What's the
subject.
name of the guy? Keemstar Orbiter, Nick Oreo, Mr.
I'm gonna
Oreo.
drown this out with some mango. I'm gonna do a whole upgrade on the dono sounds when I get back. So I saw this thread. This one doesn't really need to be here. Where did the iDubbbz's versus Billy Mitchell feud come from? Billy, you in chat right now? I saw you before. I got two more things of hot sauce coming. I bought the Lol Cow one, and I got the King of Kong one. So now I got the lawsuit.
Nick Oreo.
So I have the
Mr.
lawsuit
Oreo.
hot sauce. I got the King of Kong hot sauce, and I have the Lol and the Lol Cow one.
Incel, but since she's an aggressively clout chasing gold digger, and he was rich and famous, she took what she could get.
You know what happened? I feel like life found a way. You ever watch Jurassic Park and they say, listen, life is going to find a way? The iconic quote, okay? That life finds a way. It's like my iconic quote, by the way, where it's like you're a product of your environment. Sometimes life finds a way. I think people said that Anissa was all these slurs and like a gold digger and a disgusting person, blah, 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 whatever. And then she kind of grew into it. Like, because she's a clout demon now. She was kind of a clout demon before, but she's a clout demon now. It's like she's gone out of her way to try to prove her biggest haters right through her actions the last couple of years. Or they were right the whole time in that regard. She was always like this. I've never seen someone do what they've done here when the subject matter is like Israel, Palestine, and then they claim to care about it. I don't know. But yeah, I saw this thread and it's just like they're just spamming bees in here. He's an Oreo stream watcher now. Billy is a mod in DeOrio's chat. The lore here, guys. The lore goes crazy. iDubbbz is lucky that he dealt with Sam Hyde and not me. I'm of sound mind and fucking whatever body, all right? I think that Billy Mitchell should sue every single person that we don't like. I don't care how it works out. I don't think that's possible, but I think that we should find a way to make this happen where like we get into a fight with somebody online and we're like, fuck it, dude. Billy, go in there. Get him, Billy. Get him. Dude, you have no grounds to sue. Billy Mitchell's like, I don't care. I'm filing a lawsuit. iDubbbz is going down. That would be literally the best thing ever. We deploy Billy Mitchell in. I said that last time, like Warzone. All right, we're going to watch a video that's going to really fucking test my patience. I found the worst person I could possibly pull up on stream to give us his take on Creator Clash. This one is going to really test me. It's going to test my resolve, all right? Are we going to default to the I hate iDubbbz's position? Are we going to default to the I hate Mutahar position? Who knows, dude? Who fucking knows? Where is Nick's allegiance gonna lie on this one? We gotta test me this time, all right? I hate everything about this video. I told myself I wouldn't watch it, but my other fucking thing got canceled, so we're gonna watch this now. This is like the most difficult Creator Clash related thing, especially when apparently Muta's got new info in here that I'll have to like look up or whatever, or hand wave away depending on how stupid it is. Nintendo Switch 2 versus Homicide. Did you see that, Diesel?
Nick Oreo.
Who's got the
Mr.
clip?
Oreo.
I actually retweeted that the other
Release
day.
the hounds as Billy Mitchell walks into frame.
Dude, I think now I have 1, 2,
What's
3,
the name
4,
of the guy?
5, 6,
Keemstar
7, 8.
Orbiter? Nick Oreo.
I have
Mr.
8 Billy
Oreo.
Mitchell autographs in my house.
Just graduated high school last week. Here is some of my grad money.
Thank you.
Enjoy, Mr. Oreo. Also, have you considered doing a VOD playlist channel?
Nicholas,
at the moment, no.
The goat. Thank you for the $5.
But I'm considering making them members to let members continue watching after the stream ends. I feel like that's a good, like, because again, I'm posting full. The whole thing gets posted eventually. I don't really see a reason to compete with it. But I might let members keep watching the VODs after 24 hours instead of privating. That might be a solution that we could all go with, because most of you guys just get gifted anyway. That might be the way we go. Oh, here it is. Oh, no, it's not. Does anybody have the picture of Mutahar? I would love this for the stream. Mutahar now versus Mutahar when there's a double homicide. Oh, fuck, dude. Whoever posted it fucking deleted it. Mutahar versus. It's not going to pop up. Actually, if anyone can post it on Discord, if you know where this tweet is. Boom. Yeah, there it is, dude. Here. Fucking Dreg posted this. Mutahar talking about double homicide versus Mutahar talking about buying a Switch 2. So this is the one that he did on the other guy who... Oh, by the way, apparently the guy who allegedly shot those people, whatever, that's how Mutahar explained it, is now saying that he shot them in self-defense, dude. So maybe we'll have egg on our face on that one. I mean, I don't know what else what he could have said, but yeah, so this is when he's talking about the double homicide that happened in Vegas, and this is Mutahar when he's addressing why he bought the Bing Bing Wahoo machine. He is such a interesting character. All right, let's hear what he has to say about Creator Clash. We're going in here as fair as possible. Yo. How is it self-defense? Okay, what you're not understanding, just to be clear, thank you for making me pause at the 3-second mark, is that it was witchcraft. It was live stream. What are you talking about? Yeah, you could see the him pulling up the gun and firing it into the distance, and then there's a body on the floor. But what you can't see is witchcraft. You know? Like, it might look like he shot 2 defenseless people, but the reality of the situation is there was a mental battle that can only have been seen through the incursion, and that's actually what he was defending himself against. So I think that he's got a real good case. I'm waiting to see how it goes.
What up? That is the bios of one of the biggest commentary channels, one of the biggest police officers on YouTube. Some of you may know him as iDubbbz's. I know him as Ian. And you know what?
The funniest thing ever is that the comment cop became ACAB, and that's not something that comes up more. I don't know. How is this not, dude? Dude, the ACAB cop, dude. Or comment ACAB, or I don't know, maybe because it doesn't land well. But dude, that is very funny.
Officers on YouTube. Some of you may know him as iDubbbz's. I know him as Ian. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? He's done a pretty good job.
He didn't script that, did he? Some of you might know him as iDubbbz's, but I've met this guy. I've shaken his hand. I actually know him as Ian. We're kind of cool. We're kind of like cool together. We're on a first name basis.
Back in the day of going after some of the most problematic creators on YouTube. People like Leafy is Here, Keemstar, Tanamongjo, and most importantly, that React channel epidemic. But in amongst all of that, he did things like Kickstarter
Wait,
craps.
what did he just say?
React. People like Leafy is Here, Keemstar, Tanamongjo, and most importantly, that React channel epidemic.
How, like, the React channel epidemic, was that one even, when you hear a list of the top 5 content cops, does the React one make the cut? That's the most important thing he's ever talked about? Okay.
Epidemic. But in among
Tana mango? We can drink some mango!
all of that, he did
Want to drink some mango?
things like Kickstarter craps. He looked
I didn't know there was a React one. Yeah, most people don't. It's the Jinx one. That's what most people just refer to it as a Jinx one. But like Jinx is so irrelevant that it doesn't really, I don't know. Like if you told me he made a video on React content, I think most people in the chat would think he went after XQC Asmongold and Hassan Piker. But Hassan Piker was literally a sperm in his dad's balls when that video came out. Not really. It was a sperm in Destiny's Channel's balls. But eventually. Dude, eventually.
Projects people made. He went above and beyond the Call of Duty when it came to being a
What the fuck, dude? Who did the B-roll on this one?
the shitty
Dude, watch what flashes on
Nicholas, the goat. I appreciate that.
Dude, he flashes
Mango
the
Reinhardt,
Quran.
the thinking man's pop.
projects people
Dude, I'm not racist, bro. He intentionally flashed the Quran on stream for some reason.
made. He went above and beyond.
Nicholas!
Wait, is it supposed to be like Allah is beyond the fucking... Dude, he went above and beyond Quran.
The Call of Duty when it came to being a police officer. He even did bad unboxings. Now, he was at a time...
Dude, I need some B-roll for this. What do you got? Well, I found this clip of him ripping a Quran in half. We can't show the ripping part, but we can get right up to the door.
I am one of the best police officers.
There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I just think it's... I'm going to point it out because I think it's funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ian made an oopsie and overspent money on his wife's hairdresser instead of charity. Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
And I would say...
By the way, how high is he wearing his Seamaster in this video?
Recently, his conduct has been a little bit unbecoming, which is entirely what...
Oh, he covered it up. He knew I'd watch this one. Look at this, dude. He covered up his fucking wrist.
Internal Affairs is all about. We're here to check in on what's been going on with Officer iDubbbz's. Now, since Ian has actually left the police force, he is...
I just need to stress, I'm not going to do this the whole fucking video, I promise. I know we've paused 80 times in the first minute. I am not going to do this all night, but I just have to remind you that this guy quit drama like less than 7 months ago. Okay, he made multiple videos. So it's in the last VOD. Go watch it. He has quit drama so many times, and he's like, "Hey guys, so today we're gonna be doing the content cop. We're gonna be covering iDubbbz's. We're gonna be talking all about drama. Actually, I quit politics, but don't worry, this has both. It's great. All right, that's the only time I'm gonna mention it. The whole VOD, I promise. Okay, promises are never broken on this channel. But I just need to mention that right now before we move forward.
Decided to mature instead of fusing two slurs together. He's making a interesting
Bro, who cares? Well, guess what, buddy? Ban.
Documentaries. He's over-explaining his support of OnlyFans. And, of course, one of my personal favorites is, as an officer of the force, discovering empathy at the ripe, young, tender age of 31.
I think only in these past couple of years have I gained the ability empathy. I just, can't help myself, but,
Oh, my bad. Did you write who cares in the chat? That's okay. Oh, look, another one. Another funny guy in the chat who wrote, who cares? Yeah, there you go. Okay, we're back.
Feel for other people's pain and suffering.
iDubbbz, safe to say, doesn't actually have the same rapport with the former community, the commentary community, and has for the last few years been ingratiating himself towards a new, more politically charged community. But the department actually is more interested with some of the charitable works that Mr. Jama has actually decided to...
Why, dude, that's not his name. It's Jomha, isn't it? Dude, Mr. Jama, dude.
Can I say something
Dude,
to you,
Mr.
Nick?
Jamba
I really
Juice.
like
There we go.
Why?
Mango.
Notably, Creator Clash. Now, charity to me is a personally important thing. I think it's great to give back money to impoverished communities.
It's so brave. I'm sorry. My hatred. Fulfill your destiny and criticize and support Hassan because you hate Mutahar, dude.
Medical causes that desperately need progress, and of course to just help the fellow man. Charity is a way for all of us, no matter what our financial situation is in life, to help channel something in a positive sense. Charity is important in making progress.
Keep in mind, he said he would never cover GoFundMe scams like the Keffels one ever again because too many people were mean in the comment section.
Raising awareness, and most importantly, serving as the best criticism shield to any vanity project ever, like Creator Clash 2, for instance, where having trauma processing parties with full entertainment, open bars, hotels completely rented out to influencers, all on the dime of people who donated, thinking that the lion's share of that money would go towards the causes that get listed at all these events. Only to
Yeah, this is fair. Reasonable. Not much to say here. Being obscure, is that the right word? Obfuscating? I don't know. Not being direct about the charity stuff is absolutely a huge fucking problem when you keep, like, bragging that you're a charity.
Find out that these charitable events didn't actually donate any money to charity, at least when it came to Creator Clash 2.
What the hell are we gonna do?
Wait, well, that actually seems more interesting. Creator Clash red carpet gala and karaoke full stream? Oh, whoa. Whoa, where were you in a previous segment? Hold on. Wait, Mutahar, you might have given me something to check out right now. Creator Clash, red carpet. Is that still up? Gala. It keeps popping up Tyler, the Creator. Let's see. Did we watch this?
Is there anything like GTA 5? What the?
Was that Anissa?
Is there anything like?
That's not Anissa. There's not enough bad tattoos. Hold on. Let's see if there's anything interesting here.
That's why I'm the funny one, and you guys interrupted me. Everybody. No. You missed me. Grab the mic.
Dude, so that's actually Chris Raygun right now, and now keep in mind they had this guy fight like a really tall guy. I don't know if you haven't seen the video.
Punch me. I don't give a shit.
To be honest, I think doing that to Chris Raygun live, like in front of all of his fucking peers, is probably worth 20 grand.
I'm wearing a bulletproof vest right now.
Sorry, no chemo coming. They have to make fun of Chris Raygun.
Wait, no, come back. Come back. This is my whole set now, baby. I feel like this is the 2024 presidential debate of libertarians that got hit in the head. All right, they're not.
Why is he still standing there?
Right, when Mexico sends their fighters to Jake Paul, they're sending me these two guys who can't even ride a roller coaster.
He's a Puerto Rican demon.
Who are the people who are laughing out of, like, they're laughing too soon? There's something wrong. Are they just fucked up? They took one too many headshots the night before?
All right, let me do the funny part.
Let me do the funny part. Balls out laughing, bro.
Squash this beef right now. I want to squash it all. What is your beef? And let's fix it.
Oh, that's the guy who fought with him. Yeah, dude, look at the height difference between the two guys who fought.
I just think, bro, like,
We gotta work on your public speaking skills, dog.
It's like, I think he's a YouTuber.
How many times did you get hit in the head while you were training? Because this is scrambly right now.
They had me train with a different 5'4" Chris who's an actual boxer, and this motherfucker whooped my ass 5 times. You had no chance, bro. I've been fighting with.
So wait, you're calling him out. I fought an actual boxer and he kicked the shit out of me, and then I fought you and I won. What gives? Implying that the only thing that would separate these people is their name being Chris.
The 5'4" boss, and he told me what to do to you.
One time I got in a fight with this Mexican dude. He was the tallest Mexican dude I've ever seen in my life. He was like 5'5", so I know exactly what you mean. That shit is terrifying. And
actually, funny story, Ian saved that guy from getting tear gas in the middle of Los Angeles.
Where's your retort? I mean, I was training for a very specific...
It was crazy, dude. There were no cameras pointing at it. You had to be there to see it.
Different opponent. Racial motivated. I feel that. I thought I was fighting a white guy. Now I gotta fight Kuta Kente. What the fuck?
Holy shit, dude. Holy shit. Okay, all right. I'm here for the comedian.
I'm a Makusa.
Okay, dude. I'm liking this. There we go. He just made fun of a black guy. Holy shit.
All right. Well, listen, ladies.
I gotta be honest. I didn't think that Anissa would have it in her to have this at the event.
What's the name of the
They let the
guy,
comedian make
Keemstar
jokes.
Orbiter,
Holy
Nick
shit.
Oreo. Mr.
I think you're both
Oreo.
beautiful, and I wish you the best of luck.
Would probably think my mother has toxic masculinity because she shoots guns and rides motorcycles with me. My dad and brother. Ian is so pathetic he would fire a single bullet and both his arms would break via recoil.
Well, that's why that probably already happened. That's probably why Anissa doesn't like going to ranges anymore.
I would love if I could just see a hug between the two of you right now. Let's squash the beef right here. Let's go. And then
keep in mind, these guys didn't have any beef. Also, by the way, this is crazy. This is actually nuts, dude. Look at the size difference there. Again, the only reason that we really point this out is because iDubbbz went out of his way to say the fights are all fair and they take boxing super seriously. But in their defense, right? Will Haynes fought on 3 weeks' notice. They literally brought him on as the extra fighter because of the Froggy. That was actually supposed to be Froggy Fresh. They were going to have the two people fight, you know? It was going to be like a Lord of the Rings thing. Okay, I'm not the tallest guy either. I'm not pretending I'm a tall dude. But they were going to have two hobbits just start fucking throwing blows at, like legally, you know, just going out there kicking the shit out of each other. And Will Haynes just came in and just beat the fuck out of him on 3 weeks' notice with zero training.
I want in on some of this action too. Now we all have monkeypox.
Holy shit. Okay.
Good. Get the fuck.
All right, you got one in there. That other one was a little odd, but okay.
Loki, you're a pussy. So
is dark web
do
a
it
virgin?
because
No.
this is the entertainment for the rest of the night.
People be googling that.
Yeah, that's crazy. He was just like, all right, I got a punchline, dude. Dude, that's like when people say clip chimp and then someone freaks out. They're like, dude, there's a fucking black guy on the screen. What are you doing? It's like, that's not why I said it. What's wrong with you? That's just a term that people use.
With new horizons to pursue. Miss you, sweetie, wish you could make that flight, but you were late to the flight, and also you broke up with me 6 hours before. I fucking miss you.
Well, at least we know this guy wasn't paid for this performance. I hope we know that. Jesus.
She just thought I was Finn. I saw you holding the camera.
This is like this is a good like TikTok like like the M83 Solitude. Like I like to picture that while this song is blaring in the background, iDubbbz is off in another room explaining about how the fucking event was a catastrophe and there was no money sent to charity. Like the red light is just like hitting the side of his cheek as they stare in. They could see everyone else having fun. It's like, if they only knew.
I want to find Hundar and talk to him. I want to find Hundar and talk to him. I haven't talked to Hundar, I haven't talked to Andreas Alex.
Yeah. They might need your help to sing along. Are they still here, Sam?
Was that? Hold on, who was that?
A little duet that they might need your help to sing along.
Is that Abelina Sabrina? Is that who that is?
Are they still here, Sam and Jack? Yeah.
Thank you.
You go right on up there. You know your spots, and everybody might want to help them out.
That's crazy. This doesn't even... I gotta be honest with you, there's probably some event out there that was so awesome that, you know, on a personal level, maybe not an ethical level, you'd be like, listen, we could have sent like 60 grand to charity, but that was a pretty fucking good party. You know, listen, I would never say it on stream, all right? But there's probably some metric of awesome fucking party where I'd be like, yeah, you know... Listen, we're just not going to talk about that, you know? Like, yeah, that was a kind of shitty thing to do, but, like, that's a really fucking good party. This is not even close. This is horrible. This is not what partying is. This is terrible. You know, dude, it's just like... Dude, Post Malone showed up and played. And I don't know, bro. That'd be crazy, you know?
Any money.
This seems like a lame wedding. Well, what it is, right, is, it's recess for adult high schoolers, you know? They get to regress back to their younger days.
Charity, at least when it came to Creator Clash 2.
What the hell are we going to do? You know, I can't even think about...
This is what the average millionaire... Wait, this is how the average millionaire rationalizes going to a Diddy party? I gotta be honest with you. Okay, I can't. I was going to make a joke right there. I thought, you know what? I'm not going to say it. Never mind. Never mind. Ask Hassan. He went to one of those parties, didn't he? Now, he didn't do anything weird at them, but ask Hassan, someone who attended a Diddy party and who also attended a Creator Clash, and tell him to be honest. Which party was better? Listen, I don't know. I've never been to a Diddy party, so I can't make that assessment. But ask Hassan, someone who's attended both of these events, which one was more fun, you know? Which one had better vibes, you know?
Doing a Creator Clash 3, we lost money and there's no money for charity.
Wasn't the thing with the thing with Hassan Piker is that he went to a party and he found out that it was like didn't he say he found out midway or whatever that like, oh, this party is so whack, what the fuck is this? And he's like, what the fuck is this, like a P. Diddy party or whatever? Didn't he find out retroactively or something? I saw a clip of him trying to like rationalize it.
So what are we going to do to solve that?
Now, I've covered plenty of charities in the past, supported by influencers who had a pretty clear, clean image that turned out to either be crypto scams or, at worst, money stockpiles that remained losing value until one of my investigations contributed to hundreds of thousands of dollars, finally heading to...
How come you never talk about the investigations you did with Mama Max? You didn't do any good over there? I thought you were pretty fucking... You're pretty proud of those when those came out, I guess.
Investigations contributed to hundreds of thousands of dollars, finally heading to where it was supposed to be headed years down the road. Now, I personally feel, though, Creator Clash may not only be one of the worst tragedies in charitable fundraising by content creators, but also one that turned into something malicious down the road.
Man, I fucking hate these people so much, dude. I'm not going to say that Muta never called it out before, because maybe he did, maybe I just don't have that knowledge, but I think Mutahar was my key example where they're like, Creator Clash is going to go down as one of the worst events in history. And I quote tweeted that. I said, hey guys, this might blow your mind, but did you know that this is the second time that this event has failed? Like, the internal affairs iDubbbz's thing, a percentage of this is going to be about Creator Clash 2, and I'm so shocked that so many influencers, and this is not a strictly Muta point, because I don't think that Muta is even on the top 20 list of most affected or most impactful people here. So many people just fucking said, we lost this round, but it's not over yet, get ready for the next one, knowing how bad Creator Clash 2 was. There were fighters who signed back up and continued to fight, and I think you can criticize Harley for that in some capacity, even though he was like probing and apparently did more research this time. Obviously, it didn't go well, but he tried. I feel like you have to be critical of people who've defended this company multiple times.
More and more that it progressed. So let's get started. iDubbbz's, also known as Ian Jama, the husband of Anissa Jama, both these people were the initial faces of Creator Clash, alongside a Mike Lenardi, a co-organizer, and it started out pretty positively.
Yeah, this is why I'm here, because he actually did some research into the other people involved.
Like the first event came around May 14, 2022, hosted by Ian, his wife. Event was managed by Egoraptor, or Aaron Hansen's company, Real Good Touring, who also...
What did he just say? No shit. Wait, what?
Managed by Egoraptor, or Aaron Hansen's company, Real Good Touring.
Adam McIntyre face intensifies. How did it... He's Canadian, but like, how did that happen? Like, okay.
Event was managed by...
Canadian. Do they call it touring? That's how they say tour?
Egoraptor, or Aaron Hansen's company, Real Good Touring, who also actually fought in 2 of these events. Now, Creator Clash wanted a pretty healthy set of fighters. Big channels like Dr. Mike, Ian himself was fighting, Michael Reeves, fan favorites like Dad would show up delivering...
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be a dick to Dad, but that's just a crazy fucking sentence.
I recommend watching Nicholas
I found out who
DeOrio's
Dad
latest
was
video.
through Creator Clash.
It's
Maybe I'm a
crazy
minority
that
on
Muta
that
is
one.
mispronouncing people's names.
Dude, yeah, Mutahar, the guy who is so often the guy who's being mispronounced, actually. Maybe he's had enough. Maybe he's like, fuck this, nobody can say my name right, I'll get every name wrong from now on. They'll know how I feel.
Thank you for the $5,
Like,
my man.
Ian himself was fighting, Michael Reeves,
Even fan favorites, like Dad is here. Dude, bro, dude, and then the guy from yesterday's stream just starts shuddering and nobody knows why. It's like, dude, what the fuck? Caleb Hammer's like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? I don't know, man. Dude, I just get a little freaked out when people say shit like that. Say what? Dad?
And favorites like Dad would show up delivering pretty interesting fights. The community as a whole on the internet rallied behind it, and by all metrics, I would say it was a pretty successful event. It was hosted in the Youngling Center in Tampa, Florida.
Maybe there are some more Diddy party references happening here, dude. We're gonna have our Diddy party at Youngling Center. Hold on, dude. You know what they needed to do? Oh, it's like, dude, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Wait, whoa. I just had a vision. I had a force vision just now. Is this it?
We're on this.
There it is. Yeah. There we go. Look.
Metrics and fights. The community as a whole on the internet rallied behind it, and by all metrics, I would say it was a pretty successful event. It was hosted in the Youngling Center in Tampa, Florida.
Master.
Incorrect.
Dude, oh, it didn't have the fucking lightsaber sound. God damn it, bro. At Youngling Center. That's insane.
And CC1 sold over 100,000 pay-per-view buys, and tons of influencers and their fans showed up. And from what I understand, that arena they rented was actually sold out, which is, again, amazing. From a charity perspective, the American Heart Association, the Alzheimer's Association, and the Healing Horse Therapy Center.
All right, listen, somebody in chat's giving Mutahar like a issue with compiling other people's work, by the way. This is going to be a crazy concept, and I've talked about this recently in other dramas, but like, you guys do know that people make video essays, right? The majority of commentary content used to not just be some asshole rambling for 6 straight hours and posting 3-hour VODs. Some people compile all this stuff and post the video 3 weeks later. That's like a normal thing that people do on YouTube. I don't understand, like...
Always remember your marketable catchphrase, "Hoo boy, me Nicholas DeOrio here." And at the end of the day, all of us are products of our environment.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, at the end of the day, I'll always remember that. Hoo boy. But yeah, dude, I used to make video essays, and it drives me fucking crazy when everyone's like, I knew all this information already. Why is he so late to the party? It's like, unfortunately, he didn't stream his live reaction and made a well-edited video. In this case, probably not so well-edited, but like, you know, good enough. Cursor on screen, good enough.
Received all the net profits, according to a press release, to the tune of a combined $1.3 million.
Healing Horse Vosh must have been... Dude, the healing... Okay, never mind. This is going in a fucking dark direction.
Now, it's also worth pointing out that the Healing Horse charity actually did belong to Aaron's mother. Now, that by itself isn't a major issue, but generally speaking, I don't like it personally when one of the people involved in the entire organization...
Dude, if I was Aaron, I'd have like a fucking, in case this guy comes, call the police sign and have like a picture of Vosh's face.
Of the
just like right outside the stable.
Event is actually related to some...
Hey, thank you guys for hitting the goal. You guys have earned another goal.
Somebody receiving any disbursement of funds. I feel conflicts like that shouldn't ever be possible in the first place. But again, to go back to the event, iDubbbz even had to say that when it came to the event, these creators want to show respect to boxing while putting on an entertaining show that reflects their personalities, said iDubbbz. It was
basically, this was a huge way of him turning around and saying, we're too good to have cringy press conferences. We think the press conference stuff is really cringy, but like, you know why they do that, right? You know why Jake Paul and KSI got on stage and called each other big stupid heads and had their like dads come out and yell at each other? Because the event was for fucking children. I mean, other people had fun with it, but the big sell is that fucking 13-year-olds and their mothers can come watch a boxing match because that's who made fucking money back then. Okay, that's how Jake Paul made fucking money back then. It was for fucking children. All right, if you're gonna scoff yourself and act like you're fucking above it or whatever in your highest demographic of people, and you don't want to play the game, that's fine. Then the fucking children aren't gonna come to your event at the Youngling Center, and you're not gonna make any fucking money. That's how the children get involved with this. That's how like the 13 to 17-year-old fucking people are gonna start watching these events. The immature YouTube drama is what sells it.
Really important to us that creators took this experience seriously, and let me tell you, they absolutely have. They've been...
Nick, please stop phrasing it that way. Wait, why? Am I being gaslit right now?
Training for months, and we can't wait to show you what they can bring to the table. Influencer boxing has previously been very money-driven, and our goal is to bring attention.
Bro, even adults like drama. Look at the WWE. Right, but like, the WWE doesn't sell... like, Jake Paul's channel, when they did the Jake Paul versus Deji, KSI versus Logan Paul, they were aiming for a specifically younger target demographic because that's how YouTubers made money. The reason why Kappa had to exist is because YouTubers were making so much money marketing directly to children in ways that were illegal in other traditional media. So they had to come down on them harder for that because they're money-making machines.
Back to the sport while delivering fun and interesting personalities for an all-around great show for some great causes. Now that sounds like a great PR answer, but this clip that I found on the H3 podcast, I think really kind of shines a different light into why I think Ian and Anissa actually cared about doing this event. And it doesn't sound as altruistic as one would expect. I really do feel that for both of these people, it almost was a way for them to ingratiate themselves with the community, to basically have a yearly event that...
Who the fuck plays this game? Death Stranding? Really? Alright. Never mind.
That would bring influencers together.
Dude, you want to see Mutahar in Death Stranding? Hold on, wait. I got a picture of Mutahar in Death Stranding. Where is this? Smiling Friends. Mutahar. Where's Mutahar in Wait, Mutahar is in Smiling Friends, bro. Dude, look, this is Mutahar playing Death Stranding.
Just right over there. Yeah, right over there. That's fine. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were this place or the one next. I just need to take a picture.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And effectively keep them almost perma-relevant down the road, right?
If it works out, then we can do that.
Actually racist. I'm sorry, I was reading a YouTube video title.
And there could always be a charity aspect to it. But I think the main goal is just to get the people paid who are involved in making it happen, rather than like making exorbitant amounts of money.
So your goal is to build an institution of sorts, this creator clash, where you can have people.
Fun.
There's a champion every year.
Yeah, it's a party.
Interesting.
It's like a way more exciting VidCon. Or like,
Keep in mind, I just want to know, as I make this joke right now, I feel the need to defend myself. I go to Mutahar's actual subreddit, and I type the word found into it, and every single time somebody finds a fucking Indian guy, okay, they just tweet, I found Mutahar. I think that might have actually been Mutahar. If it wasn't, then I'm racist. Where else is this? I found American Muta. That's a white person. I found Mutahar. Oh, look, it's another Indian guy with the same haircut. Mutahar has been found dead. Actually, that is Mutahar. I found Mutahar. Actually, that actually is Mutahar. Jesus Christ. This is not working, bro. This is not working. I found Mutahar. It's just another brown guy. Every so often, I'll pop on here, and you'll just see another I found Mutahar. I found Mutahar's doppelganger in Indian porn. There's another one. Indian porn, Mutahar. Dude, it's like the Council of Ricks. I found Mutahar. It's just another Indian guy. This is his whole subreddit. This is his whole fan subreddit. They're not overrun. That's all they do over there. They just keep finding Mutahar.
I want it to be like influencers can like care.
I love driving cars really fast in a competitive manner.
Thank you.
About this and
I recommend watching Nicholas DeOrio's latest video.
Fans can care about this and like can go watch it.
Dude, we're gonna do a new fucking segment where you send me a picture of somebody who might be Mutahar, and we'll do is it Mutahar or not. That'll actually get me in trouble.
And have like a build up, like maybe parties before and like stuff like.
Is it Mutahar?
We've gone.
And you send me another fucking post from his subreddit. And I have to figure it out.
To like the last Jake Paul event, and it was crazy the amount of influencers that were there. Excited
Oh, he's specifically talking about Jake Paul. All right, let's hear what you want to do
to
differently.
see it. They weren't all my cup of tea.
Sure.
But it was exciting. Everyone wanted to be there. It was fun, and I think if we can harness some of that, but have it be even more exciting, because all of our fighters are mystery fights. You don't know how it's going to go.
By the way, I think they threw that mystery fight thing out, didn't they? Like they weren't all mystery fights.
And then you have this, charity element. It's just like a win all around.
So in the future, maybe there'll be more profits potentially for you guys.
The guy, Keemstar Orbiter, Nick DeOrio. Mr. Oreo.
Potentially,
If you
but
do
we're
a
not.
segment, call it Mutahar.
Dude, Mutahar, dude. Mutahar! We're all Mutahar! I know, Stardust in chat, why does little does everyone know that Mutahar is actually my dead name, and I've been on estrogen for the last 8 months.
Yeah.
Thank you, Star.
At that, really.
Now, one thing that we love
Mutastar, good one.
to do here at the Internal Affairs. Now, one thing we love to do as Internal Affairs is look.
Oh my, dude, I can't do this. I'm never gonna get through this fucking video. Oh my god, just edit it. Just edit it. This is not a stream VOD. This is not how you make videos. This is horrible.
Potentially, but we're not looking at that, really.
Now, one thing that we love to do here at the Internal Affairs. Now, one thing we love to do as Internal Affairs is look through documentation.
How does that get through editing? Dude, this is supposed to be in a well-edited video that he protects himself legally and shit for claims that he makes, and he left that in.
So we decided to go to ProPublica, go through their nonprofit explorer, and we actually did find the Healing Horse.
Like, you just know he didn't watch this before he published it.
Therapy Center right here. It's actually a 501c charity, and if you want to know a rough idea of how much they kind of received from Creator Clash, well, we can open up some of their filings.
And yes, to the person who's typing feverishly at their comment right now on YouTube, I think Nick is being a little too harsh on Mutahar. Yes, I am. Obviously, I'm biased. I hate him. But my point is, we're about to go learn about 50-something-C charities where he's going to pull up all these documents, and he literally just he had an extra take in there immediately before this. It kind of just delegitimizes it a bit if he's just not even reading, if he's not even watching back his own footage before he explains to us about how they're a bad charity.
Look at them really closely. So for instance, in 2022,
Nicholas, the GOAT. Thank you for the $5.
That's the thing. The reason why I feel like I can watch this video is everyone thinks I'm super biased against Creator Clash, but everyone thinks I'm super biased against Mutahar. So we're going to find out my true thoughts here now.
when Creator Clash was a thing.
Or I'm just going to fire on all cylinders and I'm not going to make any sense.
You can actually open up the 990 filing over here, and if you scroll all the way to the contributions and grants, the prior year they actually received somewhere around 3,958, as opposed to the year of Creator Clash 1, they actually ended up receiving over $250,000. Now, the thing is, when you pull up the 990 filings over here, if we go to just 2014, one of the interesting things that come out of this is you can kind of get a rough idea of how much Creator Clash actually did contribute. Now, at this point, you can see...
Didn't they tell us how much they contributed?
2020, the actual charity gets $87,000, probably from a different event. And of course, in 2021...
What do you mean, probably from a different event? Shouldn't that...
The charity ends up getting $3,958. Then, of course, when Creator Clash 1 happened, you can see that they actually got a massive spike. They went down...
A what? A what?
And do you know what else is massive?
Down eventually to the point receiving like what, $75 in just 1 year when it came from public support. Now the thing about all this is going back to the 2020 filings, the 2022 filings, I actually couldn't find any mention of Creator Clash as a company. Which I think kind of sucks because it shows me that these forms are probably not filled out well at all, if anything, which, I don't know, the more I look into a lot of these charities, the more I realize that the paperwork could be a lot better. But you know what? The reason why we looked into this was...
But if every charity he investigates all has bad paperwork, then that doesn't really tell me if they're doing this on purpose or if they're all just inept and stupid and they're accountants or they've tried to do it without an accountant or something.
Also just to...
But if every single charity he investigates has bad paperwork, that doesn't necessarily tell me anything about it.
See that there was money being sent out. And of course, when I looked further into these actual charities, at least with Aaron's mom's charity...
Something any accountant could have told you already. I assume you're talking to Mutahar, but that's ironic because we've banned all accounting majors from the chat. I have doxed every single viewer and found out whether they were accounting majors or not. Or, what was the other one that we hate here? That never happened, by the way. But hypothetically, if we did do that, okay, we banned every single one of them.
It didn't seem like they were paying themselves what appeared to be exorbitant salaries. They just took money in and they spent it on obviously dealing with horse therapy stuff. So again, it seems pretty much on the up.
Luckily, every single one of you logged in and played Black Ops 3 online in the past 2 weeks, so I was able to log into your computer and find all of your transcripts and find out any accounting majors and purge them all from the chat.
But no, money was actually given. And the only reason I checked this was because when we go down the road, it's going to be really hard to believe what Ian and Anissa and really a lot of people associated with the event actually say. There's a lot of conflicting.
Dude, Mutahar is going to give us a real... Now I'm doing it too. Mutahar is going to give us some real solid reasons why we can't believe in anything Anissa has to say, guys.
Information. And as an officer, I don't like to look at conflicting information, okay?
None of these guys can just dress up like fucking police officers. I mean, I guess internal affairs means like, hey, I'm going to wear my suit, but like...
Because there's a fuck ton of stupid people in the room, and I try not to be one of them, okay? I make mistakes, but
I feel like he hasn't really sold this. You got to do like a skit or jump around or something. Like if he put on some sunglasses and looked at the camera outside or something, that would really sell the bit. The bit is like, I've decided to wear a suit today.
Try to look at the data as much as I can. So anyways, to go down over here, the first event was actually successful. Charities got money, and all in all, it was actually a pretty serious win for Ian and Anissa in terms of it just being a good overall event. I mean, I didn't have any issues with it. One would think if this is how good the first event was, theoretically, Creator Clash 2 should absolutely be a success. Until, of course...
You're right. Oh my god, who just wrote that in my fucking chat? You actually just sold me, dude. This is like... This is the Walmart brand CoffeeZilla video. Like, dude, I want CoffeeZilla to cover it. No, we have CoffeeZilla at home. CoffeeZilla at home. Internal Affairs iDubbbz's. Oh, no.
Of course it isn't. Now, Creator Clash 2 was announced January 24, 2023, and it was poised to happen at a bigger venue this time. Emily Arena, and once again in the city.
Dude, at Emily Arena,
23, and it was poised to happen at a bigger venue this time. Emily Arena. And
who fucking wrote that? There's no way this motherfucker just pulled out, it was poised.
For 2023, and it was poised to happen at a bigger venue this time.
This dude's raising his stats in fucking Madden.
Emily Arena, and once again in the city of Tampa, Florida. So iDubbbz once again was set to fight this time with Alex Wasabi.
ChatGPT, you think? I don't think he's ever used that word before.
Harley would join.
Give me evidence that Mutahar has ever uttered the term poised before.
And he would fight an actual heavyweight, John Morrison, and Dad would fight...
Poised isn't that advanced? That's not what I said. I said that I don't think Mutahar's ever used it before. I never said that only smart people use it.
Fight AB from the H3 podcast. So one of the fights was set to be against Tyler Cassidy, also known as Froggy Fresh, of the
Dude, he's on a first name basis with like all these guys, dude. Holy shit. I gotta watch him more, dude. He's really he's connected.
Be Cream fame. He made a bunch of songs on the internet. Guy's an old school OG YouTube legend. Now, Froggy was supposed to be fighting Chris Raygun, and I want you to remember this fight because the controversy surrounding it might have been some of the most promotion this fight was getting for a while, and all of it was effectively for the wrong reason.
I'm pretty sure Mutahar was like in some of those spaces. He was around, definitely, for this back then.
Now, something about fighting promotion and the community that watches these events is that it always centers around some form of drama or conflict, okay? A lot of the biggest bouts on YouTube, at least in this space, have basically resulted from beefs, a lot of them long-withstanding, between creators to the point where having them bash each other's brains in for money, which, you know, money at that point...
Dude, honestly, I think, dude, Mutahar would be all in if that was what was happening, dude. If people were getting their skulls bashed in, this guy would be fucking, he would buy the tickets, sit in the front row.
It just takes a back seat. People love the thrill of just settling this online bullshit in a ring. And the audience is excited for it. I'm sure the creators are excited for it. And if you get paid while you get to beat the shit out of the guy you absolutely have been beefing with for a while, all of it is a win-win. Unfortunately, Creator Clash doesn't really have that ethos.
He allegedly had his skull bashed in at the Creator Clash event.
It's first and foremost meant to be about treating boxing, the sport, with respect. And its safeguarding comes first.
The last thing I want to talk about is how serious the sport of boxing.
This is a good clip. I'm glad he pulled it up here because I was too lazy to find it. Where they try to act like they're better than all the other promotions by not promoting their event. Like they're not doing. Oh, you know, actually, iDubbbz's is the perfect YouTube viewer. All right, people are like, dude, I don't understand, bro. Why do people put intros to their videos? Why are people loud in the intro to their video? Why do people use thumbnails like this that are clickbait? It's like, because that's what works. Like, oh no, I don't understand. This guy used to make such good videos back in the day that nobody ever watched. And now he's doing things that are making his channel more successful. Like, what an asshole. Like, iDubbbz's is the delusional viewer asking why all the algorithmically good things are being added to the content.
We've seen a lot of these influencer boxing events just pop up and, to be honest, not take the sport very seriously. In this last event, we saw guys headbutting each other. We want to avoid this shit at all costs. We're trying to get professional boxing coaches for all of our fighters. We're trying to give them ample time to prepare. We're trying to prepare them mentally and physically for, you know, what they're going to do, because people die in boxing. It's not a goofy thing. Oh, let's try out boxing. It's a serious thing.
Wow, Ian, that's actually such a good point. You know, I would actually believe that you weren't just talking.
And again, I think this is hilarious, but you have to know this fight is on 3 weeks' notice, and they had to get somebody to fill in. But yeah, whatever. I mean, yeah, it's a fair critique.
Out of your ass. If it wasn't for the fact that you put Chris Raygun up against William Haynes.
I do think, like, if you're going to say this, though, you ought to mention that this is a replacement fighter that's come in 3 weeks before the event.
Clearly had a height and weight superiority against him.
But it is very funny.
You know, if you really care about the sport of boxing, you probably wouldn't have haphazardly put this matchup last minute after kicking Froggy.
Okay, he did. Pause, champ.
Fresh out and put Chris in a pretty shitty situation. So the big problem with promotion came from the fact that Creator Clash's individual creators actually didn't do a whole lot of promotion.
We also had to pay for more.
Dude, why did he just fucking... Dude, it looked like Paranormal Activity. His body just snapped back, dude.
Individual creators actually didn't do a whole lot of promotion.
We also had to pay...
Did he just burp?
His individual creators actually didn't do a whole lot of promotion.
He burped! He fucking burped! He cut it out!
That Creator Clash's
individual fucking ricked on us, dude. Morty,
individual creators actually didn't do a whole lot of promotion.
We also had to pay for more fighters this year. The first year it was 18. This year it was...
Dude, Mutahar burped, iDubbbz's spine snapped, and then all of a sudden he started talking about boxing. I don't know what just happened. What did I
24. Miss? I thought bringing in more...
I would ask why the creators didn't promote. That's insane. Well, iDubbbz didn't want to bother them. That was his thing. Like, and we were talking to Harley, and Harley was fighting me about this earlier back in January. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, dude, we can't pester these people to fight. It's like, yeah, you can. You're paying them $15,000. That's before I knew all the bonuses they were supposed to receive.
The first year it was 18. This year it was 24. I thought...
Wait, what? Fighters. I thought they gave us new numbers. I'm like, I've never heard the number 18 before. Because every time we talk about how much money they're paid, it's like a different number. I was like, 18 has literally never come up yet.
Here it was 18. This year it was 24. I thought bringing in more fighters would just lead to more pay-per-view buys. But I think it just ended up costing us more.
Yeah, Ian thought that just because he put in more fighters on the card that he tweeted out, that somehow that would correlate to more pay-per-view buys, which, again, it shows you that maybe he's just never gotten past the age of, I don't know, 12, but...
Dude, I'm just... Okay, all right. Yeah, I'll give you that one, I guess. I don't know. That was a little odd.
Events always do get pirated. And also, you know, if you look into some of the promotional material, like if the actual individual fighters are promoting it. Now, I don't know if videos were removed or maybe like they posted on alternate networks, but even looking at the main platforms for...
Smaggle said, wait, Nick, you didn't know it came after 17 until right now? Sorry, Smaggle. I only knew about the people that you date. Oh, shit! Okay, bro! Yeah, no, Smaggle is not a pedophile, just to be clear, but I had to include that for the Vine.
Some of these creators, you know, people like Ethan Nestor definitely had this in the, at least in the description box for their links. And even in that case, like, he actually did make videos. The mainline event, Ian versus Alex Wasabi, from what I can find, there's literally one video leading up with like 40,000 viewers, and then the actual video, which would be around fight night or post-release. So I don't want to jump and blame the fighters for not promoting.
I will. Why are you taking 15 grand of fucking potential charity money plus bonuses, and you can't even fucking promote the event effectively? Like, what are you doing on an influencer boxing card if you can't, like, get your audience excited to be on it? There's probably other people who'd be willing to take that money and stand up there and get punched in the face for more or for less.
This event enough. Again, if you know anything behind the scenes, there's got to be plans for promotion, like there's got to be timelines that are met.
But again, one thing that people don't point out is that all of these events are awfully promoted. Like, I don't know what the issue is. Dude, actually, Misfits has it the worst because all the Misfits fighters suck. At this point, they've all basically quit YouTube and became boxers full time, and YouTube boxing died, so they, along with it, will go. I don't know, like, who was the guy who was, like, undefeated, who was demanding more money because his skills warranted it? Was it Slim? Or something? Like, that guy has, like, no does he have, like, internet presence still? I don't know. He obviously didn't command the extra money because all these guys did was stop posting YouTube content and punch at the gym. So obviously you can't demand more money. When you're doing YouTube boxing, you're not getting picked for your skill. If you could knock somebody out, that's great. That might be a contributing factor. But if you've got really good form, okay, and your footwork is fantastic, bitch, they care about how many followers you have on Instagram. That's why they read those stats in the beginning. They don't go, well, they give you all the normal shit you'd expect with boxing, and then they're like, and he's got 1.3 million followers across all of his various social media platforms. Fighting out of the red corner. Yeah, like, that's why you're here, dude. Your social relevance is the entire reason that you're being chosen to fight. That's why Smaggle Daggle's not on the card. If Smaggle was like a jacked fucking boxer, he wouldn't get on the card, dude. They'd put Jayla Ray on the card, dude.
There's got to be deliverables. And if the event itself...
It's a clout grab? No, dude, no. You don't understand. Okay, how do I explain this? Okay, all right, so do you think that people do poker events with celebrity poker because they look for the real skilled ones? Or do you think they bring on celebrities to celebrity poker? It's celebrity boxing. The pull is that you're watching fucking YouTubers punch each other. But if you don't know who the YouTubers are, it's just amateur boxing.
Isn't putting in the effort, how can you expect the fighters or the participants to be doing anything?
Dude, hey guys, we're gonna be doing celebrity poker, guys. I'm bringing on all the people from the fucking commentary community Tommy C drama.
They're already busy training for this fight and this event. If you're going to make them promote
I hear Dickers is really good, dude.
Event, at least plan the stuff out properly. Otherwise, then you can't complain when nobody checks out the event because you're not promoting it properly. People from outside the sphere who care about boxing are probably not going to jump into the event because it's not being adequately promoted, even outside these people's fan bases. All of this was stated actually in iDubbbz's own video regarding the failure of Creator Clash 2, when he himself admitted that after all the accounting, the whole event failed to actually raise a...
Why haven't YouTubers started fake drama on their channels to drum up hype? That's a great fucking question. You remember actually, well, again, because nobody wants to pander, these guys, I guess maybe they think they're better than it. Nobody wants to pander to fucking children. Their main income source for these boxing events, by the way. At least that's the way that it used to be. Where is, Rhoda Shaw? I forgot. Does that guy still exist anymore? His Rice Gum song? Do you guys remember why Rhoda Shaw did a fucking Rice Gum diss track? Do you know why this even existed? It was called like Rice Gum Sucks or something. It was literally for a boxing event. It was to promote his boxing event. This is like one of the best YouTube diss tracks of all time, and it's good because it's short and it doesn't have time to get bad. By the way, the boxing part never happened, but you get the idea.
Good afternoon! Your mom looks like Kim Jong-un!
Okay, so, listen.
Nicholas, the GOAT. Thank you for the $5,
okay, dude,
man.
yeah. Alright, awesome, dude. Holy shit, who the fuck starts a conversation like that, dude? Holy fuck, dude.
Good afternoon! Your mom looks like Kim Jong-un! Called me irrelevant, but you only get views when you pay your mate's girlfriend to show off her boobs! You have the personality
Dude, I'm sorry, this is nuts.
Of a wet flannel! Summer is the only thing saving your channel. I've never had a fight, but you're a pro. He's already won a no against the Gabby show.
Dude, remember when Rice Gum fucking smacked the phone out of Gabby had his hands, dude? Holy shit. But this is to promote a boxing event. What, dude, I understand that you don't want to be fucking childish or whatever, or I guess you take the sport seriously, but it's fucking YouTube boxing. The part that people want to watch is the YouTube part. Do a fucking diss track or something.
You pissed off China with a single vlog. I heard you once tried to eat Alyssa Violet's dog. And your life sucks. It can't be fun. Looking like a malnourished lesbian. The whole of Cloud Gang are having a mare. Look, poor Face Banks is losing his hair. And FaZe Rug's nose is just obscene. Wait, Wolfie, stop, she's only 17. Alyssa Violet got with Logan and Jake, and all of Rice Gum's Fortnite games are fake. His diss track stopped cause the last one flopped, and when he fights me, he's gonna get dropped.
Bro, I want to watch this fight right now. That would never happen, but I want to watch a fucking fight. That was awesome. Holy shit, dude. That was insane. Dude, Wolfie, dude, they made jokes because Wolfie, they called him something that wasn't Wolfie Raps. They actually called him Wolfie. But you get the point? Like, why can't we just do some of that, bro?
Single penny for charity.
For Creator Clash 2.
That was a whole other, I don't even remember the fucking allegation there. That was years ago.
You know, despite it being a fun event, and despite...
Yeah, the guy has no flow, but his writing is fire. But that's what happens when you write a diss track that's only like 45 seconds, dude. You just fucking start rattling them off.
Good fights, and a lot of creators sacrificing a lot of time, money, and energy. We lost $250,000 on the event. The way that this typically works for anyone who's unaware is that once our expenses are paid off for the event, like all the minimums of like, you know, broadcast.
Again, like M83 Solitude playing right here with him narrating, like once all of our expenses are paid off, and then it just cuts back to like fucking wartime PTSD footage into like the comedian, and they're just sitting up there doing horrible fucking karaoke, and then it plays this part again.
Expenses are paid off for the event, like all the minimums of like, you know, broadcasting, the hotel, travel, all that.
And it just cuts over, and then you got a picture of Frogan on the red carpet, and M83 Solitude just starts blaring in your ear like wham, wham, wham. So like, I see the meme in my head.
Sort of stuff. Once that's all paid off, then we can start paying the charities.
So obviously adding extra fighters to the card wasn't raising up viewer numbers, but another big problem that Ian mentioned here was obviously they'd never anticipated piracy, and that apparently cost them a lot of money.
But we didn't have any anti-piracy measures. We weren't prepared to deal with what ended up...
You know what this reminds me of? Do you remember when Twitch sent out that embarrassing fucking email where they're like, hey guys, I gotta be honest with you. We never thought people would start striking us. We never thought the day would come when the big music has decided that you can't just fucking play 50 songs in a row all stream long and just get away with it. Yeah, guys, I know you've been streaming 50,000 episodes of whatever's on Disney Plus right now, but they've been sending a whole lot of DMCAs, so please look at this little pamphlet. It'll tell you all about what you could do with copyright while we try to figure out our fucking back-end system here. What actually happened with that was that Twitch had nothing in place. And this is true. They had nothing in place to, like, permanently delete videos off the server. So you thought you were deleting your VODs, but no. You know who could still see them? Disney.
I recommend
you know who could still
Nicholas
see them?
DeOrio's
Music companies. So they were striking shit that creators
like
deleted.
Luxury hotels. Not rooms, the whole hotel. Flying out streamers that didn't pronto the event.
Yep.
The luxury gala. The second gala to taper off from Tay first gala. The after party for the second gala.
I don't know why nobody's ever made a video essay on this, on like the actual, like that should be like the next thing that happens now. Somebody should go back to every Twitch controversy and just do a hit piece or make a pretty solid commentary video going through all of their missteps as a company. Okay? Because the DMCA email that I got from them, I will never forget it. We just didn't know this was going to happen. We'll try to figure it out in the coming days.
Happening. I mean, that
would be so hard to do, right? No, you pick like 3 big examples and put a couple memes in between. That's how I would formulate my scripts in old YouTube videos, like a 3-act structure. I would need 3 main talking points, and then I would, in between, pepper it with really funny side shit that wouldn't get really expanded upon further, or, you know, more than it needs to be.
I was just thinking, like, let's just avoid catastrophe. As long as there's, like, not, like, I don't know, like a bomb threat, or, like, injuries, or anything crazy, like, we should be fine. This should just be like the first year. I don't want it to be more complicated than the first year. it ended up being a lot more complicated. Amongst the 800 pirated streaming sites, there were between 1.3 and 3 million viewers.
That's my favorite number, dude. Guys, dude. Guys, last month on YouTube, I just want to be transparent with you. I made between $1 and $6 million, okay? I'll let you decide. I'll let you decide what you think that exact number is, but I wanted to give you a reasonable range to really... Between $1 and $6 million is what I made last month.
So even though there were around 50...
It's such a crazy fucking... Dude, between 1.3 and 3 million. I can't... Like, if you try to envision what that actually could entail, your brain wouldn't be able to compute it.
50,000 pay-per-view buys. There were around 1.3 to 3...
Dude, this guy, he went to the fucking... Dude, this... Oh, what the fuck was that? What did I just drop? Jesus. Dude, this guy just went to the what is it called? I totally lost my train of thought. Who's the guy from the fucking Toy Story? Holy shit. Buzz Lightyear. He went to the Buzz Lightyear school of I don't know. I was making a To Infinity and Beyond joke. It's past now.
3 million viewers, people who actually watched the full broadcast.
Now, piracy obviously wasn't the only thing. There was the increased fighters, which led to higher operational costs, and of course, that Froggy Fresh controversy I talked about earlier absolutely didn't do anything to smooth things over with at all. So yeah, Creator Clash 2 definitely had a lot of negatives going towards it, but I wouldn't say that all these things happened externally. A lot of it could have been avoided generally if you had better planning at the top. Now look, advertising was one problem, right? A big problem for Creator Clash 2, but for the first time it felt...
Like, this is something that is driving me nuts. Look at this, right? Let's hear Mutahar give some real good advice here.
...towards it, but I wouldn't say that all these things happened externally. A lot of it could have been avoided.
Like, Mutahar is giving iDubbbz's advice on the event that failed 3 years ago, knowing the next event has already failed. It's like, no, what you should have done is this. It's like, thanks.
Right? A big problem for Creator Clash 2, but for the first time it felt that the event got a controversy, and it was in the shape of Froggy Fresh. Now, Froggy Fresh was that fighter in CC2 that was supposed to go up against Chris Raygun. And that was until Froggy made this dastardly joke regarding signing to Anissa's OnlyFans if he actually had lost, and that ended up being the catalyst for him being removed from the event.
And I don't have a problem with the misinformation here, because I personally don't think it's misinformation, and I think that they have intentionally kind of made it vague. Well, more recently, they've turned around and said it's all about fucking Sam Hyde. Even back then, they kind of turned around and said it's all about Sam Hyde. But they didn't really give a solid answer before that, and they kind of implied this was the reason.
There seems to be substantial evidence that Chris Raygun is now on Adderall. Well, young man, amphetamines couldn't save Hitler, and they can't save you either. On April 15th, if I don't hurt you beyond what anybody could have imagined, I will be so disappointed in myself that I will subscribe to Anissa's OnlyFans.
So I don't think I've ever seen the beginning part of that clip before. I mean, it's a good joke. That's good promotion. They had one guy come through and actually promote the event, and you know what they did? They fired him. Then they had a second guy who really did great in the event. You know what they did? They paid his co-star allegedly more money to be on the main card, and then did the whole swastika sword thing and made him leave the event.
Nowhere.
Every time there's somebody that actually cares about this event or enjoys it or promotes it or does anything in a positive direction, somehow they don't actually fight on fight day. You just get a bunch of jailer rays.
Froggy Fresh ends up being removed for his recent behavior. Now, in a lot of these deleted tweets, and there's archives and screenshots that exist, but I wanted to tell you that they were deleted because I don't have them right here to review, fresh on Twitter, which, you know, again, I just want you to know these are archives. But there has been a change in the lineup, and Froggy Fresh will no longer be fighting against Chris Raygun. We'll announce his replacement in the coming days. With just 3 weeks left, the countdown to Creator Clash 2 has begun. So, yeah, they were going to issue a change.
Why does that read off like a Dragon Ball Z intro? Da, 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 da. The countdown to Creator Clash 2 has begun.
The countdown to Creator Clash 2 has begun. So yeah, they were going to issue a change in the fighter lineup that close to the actual fight night. Creator Clash's goal is to make an inclusive and fun environment for creators and fans while giving back to charity. Oh, this is going to burn. That has always been our mission, and Froggy Fresh's recent behavior does not align with that mission. We look forward to sharing this positive experience on April 15th.
Now, there's a case you could say that, hey, man, maybe you shouldn't be making OnlyFans jokes about, somebody's, the event organizer, so to speak, as somebody fighting in the event. You've been given this big opportunity.
Why?
Why would you say something that would probably piss off the event owners? And
I don't know. Your whole thing is that
you
you like doing OnlyFans and you're fucking not insecure at all about it. But the minute somebody jokes about it, it's like the worst thing on planet Earth. I don't really understand it. I don't get it. Like, we're allowed to make fun of YouTubers and call everybody slop tubers and stuff, and that's fine. But we make a joke at your job, right? This was your job, at the expense of your job, and all of a sudden it's the worst thing that's ever happened in history.
I agree with you. Obviously, if you've been given this opportunity...
I mean, I feel like there are people who hate sex workers and stuff like that, and they'll explain it in significantly harsher ways. But to just say you can never make a joke about sex work, ever. Otherwise, you're not like a sex worker ally is kind of ridiculous.
It's probably best to be quiet. But the reason why the overreaction, I would say, personally to me seemed weird is that, iDubbbz's is a guy that made the whole video about he's okay with sex work and OnlyFans and everything, right? Like, he's totally fine with this kind of stuff. He's fine with people making jokes about this behavior.
For those of you who are unaware of the drama I recently brought upon myself, I'll fill you in. My girlfriend started an OnlyFans account, which is a website where you can upload amateur...
Like, why did he do this video in that beanie? I mean, he's just asking for it,
porn. Anything from double penetration all the way over to lewd cosplay.
Again, there's so many... Dude, this is why he gets mad, right? Ian gets mad at, what the fuck? Not the gun guy. The guy who said that he did the thing for his meat or whatever, because his girlfriend was going to do OnlyFans or something like that, right? And then when he goes and when you hear how base people do it, when people who are really secure in their life... Yeah, donut operator. He goes after donut operator, and he's like, "Oh, that's just an insecure guy." This is what secure looks like.
You can upload amateur porn. Anything from double penetration all the way over to lewd cosplay and everything in between. And I think all of it is cool. Yeah.
But why does he do that? He just like flexes. Not like he just. I don't know. He's like fucking trying to make you jump back.
Between.
He's trying to make you flinch.
And I think all of it is cool. Yeah.
What is that face turn? Like, you couldn't possibly say this in a less secure way.
But the thing about it is he obviously...
Look how red his face is. It's like the one time... Maybe this is why he lowers the saturation in all of his more recent content.
All of it is cool. Yeah.
But the thing about it is he obviously isn't.
He did the Walter White... Yeah.
Okay, Froggy Fresh is getting kicked off an event because of this joke, and I guess a whole litany of other issues that came out as well, too, according to iDubbbz's, where he was, I believe, training with Sam, and he kind of made Sam to be more of a visible figure beyond just the training, which I believe iDubbbz's wasn't comfortable with, and there's good reason for that.
The main reason Froggy was kicked from the card was for collaborating with Sam Hyde, and, for anyone who's been following the story, that's, fairly obvious. Froggy has explained, his side of the story multiple times. And unfortunately, he's been perpetuating a narrative that it's about OnlyFans or that it's about Anissa's mom, and that's extremely deceptive.
And I'm not here to claim or do a gotcha that this reasoning isn't solid. Obviously, it's his event.
I'm glad he included it, too.
Their internal communications most likely reflect, the guy being kicked, probably because...
So his position is the same as mine, where it's like, yeah, they're going to say this now, but they were being kind of weird about it before, and they let everybody believe that other thing for a real long while.
Sam Hyde. But the only
It does kind of sound like some post-talk rationalization.
Stuff is super weird because it really just felt like, at the time, it was the catalyst that moved the needle to that point of no return. But even when you look at how he reacts to other creators, like...
Yeah, how dare Muta be right? Yeah, fucking asshole.
Here's a clip of Donut Operator bringing up the whole OnlyFans stuff and how it prevented Ian from, even talking to him. Or, Ian just stopped wanting to be friends with the guy over this.
So, he went to a range day?
All right, we already kind of went through this already. I accidentally gave all this context.
The GOAT. Thank you for the $5.
Dedicated to relitigating this OnlyFans nonsense. Honestly, I think, if anything, you either are secure with it or you're not, okay? But you can't have this wishy-washy halfway.
What the fuck was that donation? Jesus Christ, dude, I'm sorry.
You know, I can handle a joke, but also I'm going to cut a friendship off because the guy sent a joke about OnlyFans as a joke to a friend, and you immediately took that upon, you know, an insult to your wife. I mean, that is, I don't know how.
Yeah, again, I don't know if he's going to mention it, but, like, you have to remember Anissa's mom started fucking boxing literally boxing with Froggy on Twitter. Like, she started replying angrily.
Like, I don't know how to really process that in the most positive way for a guy like Ian. But generally speaking, it's just tough to look at the situation and not feel that at least, you know, that the OnlyFans stuff kind of played a big part in at least the expulsion of Froggy Fresh, or at least it was treated as like an incredible insult, and that's where, at least in my opinion, an overreaction was kicked in. But again, this is all just kind of feels-based arguments, and that's not where I want to be in this video. So let's whittle on back to just Creator Clash 2 and its mistake, because honestly, this OF stuff is small potatoes.
I gotta be honest with you, I didn't think this would just be kind of the drama recap. I thought we would see more about the charity stuff. It sounds like Muta wanted to make like the second completionist video, and then midway through he's like, yeah, there's not really much here to look at. I'm not seeing any documents. So it's just internal affairs iDubbbz, but it is kind of just a drama video, which is fine.
Compared to the fact that this charity event didn't even raise a dime for charities, may I remind you.
Now, when Froggy was kicked off, short to say it did spark controversy, they replaced him with a...
Like, this is a fine video for somebody who hasn't really looked at this story yet and just kind of wants a quick 1 hour and 19-minute summary.
William Haynes, who, let's be...
I mean, you might joke and scoff at the length of the video and go, that's not a good intro for anything, Nick. And it's like, well, I mean, plenty of people are watching 3-hour live streams that I post.
Honest, was a severe mismatch for Chris Ray Gun, not to throw shade or anything. It's
probably
just
easier
one
to
of
watch
these decisions you have to look for, because if you really care about the spirit of boxing, you would do a lot better of a job at matching up people properly so that it just doesn't look like such a mismanaged event down the road. So one thing I found interesting this time for Creator Clash was two pieces of information that just caught my attention. So during this controversy, according to Froggy Fresh and some of the fighters who allegedly came out and stated that there was actually a purse. So money that would be set...
What? What do you mean they allegedly came out? Bitch, we know who they are! What are you talking about? Wait, what?
And some of the fighters who allegedly came out...
They didn't allegedly come out, they spoke! I saw them. It was on one of them was on my stream.
Caught my attention. So during this controversy, according to Froggy Fresh and some of the fighters who allegedly came out and stated that there was actually a purse. So
he came out and alleged. Yeah, he's reading this script wrong. That's probably what he meant. Yeah.
Money that would be set aside that you would get for the purposes of paying for your food and your training, and that
Billy said, I never thought I would hear Nick say something nice about Mutahar.
There was supposedly, according to Froggy Fresh, a portion of ticket sales that would actually end up going to the fighters. Which, again, this was a charity event.
Elena Pierce is misinforming the public, saying that I'm taking money off the table for charity, okay? The money I used to train...
That's a good clip.
...was an advance on my purse. It had nothing to do with the charity organizations.
Yeah, I mean, literally, Alana Pierce was sitting there being like, I don't know if anyone else got this money. It's like, it's literally the purse. It's the fight purse. It's the money for charity that everybody was supposedly getting. So she's like, I don't know. I didn't get that.
Fighters are receiving a purse to fight. That money was an advance on that purse. It was coming out of my purse. That's it. So I would have a smaller purse on fight night. That's it. Now what I'm willing to do to show you how dedicated I am to...
Which is even funnier because the 15 grand was supposedly the whole purse. So they all had the expectation that on fight night, they would be getting like the big bonus that they got from Creator Clash 1.
Charity. I'm willing to donate the rest of my purse to charity, as well as my portion of profits from ticket sales and pay-per-view sales that all the fighters are splitting.
Huh. You know, dude, every new clip of Creator Clash makes me shake my head. What?
As well as my portion of profits from ticket sales and pay-per-view sales that all the fighters are splitting. I'll donate both of those to charity.
Yeah, literally, Muta, I agree. What?
Why would...
Oh, it's why.
Ticket sales and pay-per-view sales that all the fighters are splitting. I'll donate both of those to charity.
Why would this even need to be a thing? This seemed incredibly unethical to me at the time. And the thing about it is, there were other fighters that were giving conflicting information. So the purse, according to Elena Pierce, one of the other fighters, she said that she didn't even get a purse. She had no idea that it was actually even a thing.
But that document is not litigation, and it's not them trying to sue him. Essentially, Tyler, Froggy Fresh, was given 15...
This is a good section. I really like this section. This is putting a lot together. I actually hadn't seen that clip in years.
$15,000 for training purposes. And for the record, I was not given that money. I don't know if anyone else was. I think it was effectively like a financial aid for him specifically. Because
he's so fucking poor. By the way, just to be clear, financial aid, financial made, dude. Fucking Harley got an advance on his purse this year and kept the money too.
I guess he requested it. I'm not entirely sure how that went down. Because he needed the help paying for training. I don't know how much money he spent. I don't think that I've spent $15,000 paying for my training or my meal.
Which is crazy, because that doesn't... It, like, literally... Guys, the new face... One of the new faces of Creator Clash thinks the fighters are getting paid too much for training. Dude, that is a death blow. Isn't that crazy? One of the people who is now going to be splitting more of the money, or the face of the company splitting more of the money to the fighters, thinks that the fighters are getting paid too much.
I don't know how much money he spent. I don't think that I've spent...
Billy, do you think that I can get iDubbbz to reply to me on Twitter? I want to. I want to run discount code CUCK. I think he'll block you sooner, but you could probably still run that discount code if he blocks you.
$15,000 paying for my training or my meals. It certainly costs thousands of
Good shit, Billy. I got 2 hot sauces coming my way.
dollars, but I don't
2 Ricky's hot sauces.
think I would have spent anywhere near $15,000. And what they did was send him a letter saying, hey, can we have the $15,000 back? The reason they did that was because now that he's no longer fighting because of breach of contract, he had to be replaced. That money that was given to him is just taken out of charity at this point.
Now, again, you've got one fighter who's claiming that this is, I guess, financial aid if you ask for it. I don't know if she's misremembering anything, but you got Froggy talking about, hey, this is a person, this is ticket sales. Now, coincidentally, at the same time, Harley Morenstein actually jumped into the live stream of, I believe it was like Nicholas DeOrio, and actually wrote, I don't know about fight of the night. Every fighter got an extra 30,000 or so on top of the 20,000. So not just for the fight of the night, for everyone. Was a surprise for CC1. So nobody at CC1 was expecting for them to get a payment on fight night.
Say my name!
Which was, a pleasant surprise, obviously. But for Creator Clash 2, people expected that bonus. Okay, so again, you've got one more fighter here who's been here basically since the beginning.
It was allegedly some guy named Nick.
Stating that, no, there was actually payment on the line for a lot of these fighters. And again, it's not just Elena, it's also Ian himself saying...
I think this video is great. I have no problems with it at all.
...that fighters got money.
This year it was 24. I thought bringing in more fighters would just lead to more pay-per-view buys, but I think it just ended up costing us more, because each fighter gets a $20,000 stipend. And for anyone like confused about this or thought everyone was fighting for free, they pretty much are fighting for free.
No, buddy, that's not fighting for free. That's actually receiving some financial compensation. Now,
and in some cases, a large financial compensation, like in Creator Clash 1.
I will grant you, the charitability and say, yeah, it's probably reimbursement for the money they're spending in fighting on your event. And,
I won't.
For a lot of larger creators that probably didn't want to fight in the event because it might have been a financial disservice to them, yeah, as a content creator, you could either give up your time and train for somebody else's event and miss out on hundreds of thousands potentially.
Does he not know about, I don't know, I might be pausing too quick here, but does he not know about, like, the percentages from Creator Clash 1 that went to the fighters?
Actually millions of dollars just by not participating in your own line of work. And sure, yeah, the stipend over there barely covers the cost of what you've actually lost. I guess if you do look at it from that perspective. But the thing is, this is a event billed as a charity. Fighters get hit, charities get paid, all right, at least 50% of the time based on this event's track record. So the thing about this is, if you're going to have a purse, if you're going to have portions of the ticket sales allegedly being passed around, then...
It's not allegedly. It's not. It's not allegedly being passed around. Everyone agrees. There's so many people who've said this.
You should be very upfront and honest about it. And I'm not even just going to go after Ian for this. I'm actually going to go after every single one of the fighters on this event as well a little bit.
Oh.
Because if you have information that for a fact could easily be it would dissuade the public from even considering, maybe I do want to give money to this event, right? Because as a person, when you're giving money to an event like this, you probably want most of your ticket sales to go to charity. You don't want it to be used to further enrich, people in some cases who are already multimillionaires, right? So when you look at it from that perspective, if you ever hold on to information that...
Yeah, there should have been whistleblowers at the gala. That should have been it. There should have been a lot more people who turned coat on the day of the gala, not even knowing if the event made money for charity. That it was a little ridiculous. But even after, everyone was like, oh God, Keemstar is so mean. I don't want to associate with Keemstar. So nobody said anything. But I think that's fair.
Could probably dissuade the average public from buying into an event or something. I think it's an ethical responsibility to at least disclose that. But again,
my take is that I think people who chose to go there a third time without any due diligence and just kind of repeated the same behavior again, after knowing the previous one sent no money to charity, I think those people deserve to be heavily criticized.
Obviously, I'm just giving the fighters a little bit of the shit. I'm sure there were a lot of contractual NDAs and things that probably prevented these guys from even talking about this legally. lest they may face some wrath from this organization, right? Because in reality, it's just weird when I read this kind of conflicting information. So realistically, it's...
That's why I think my position is safer. If there is an NDA, that's fine. Maybe they couldn't say anything. But if they went back and did it again, knowing all of that information and signing a second NDA to go fucking fight in Creator Clash 3, I mean, at that point, you got to start asking some questions.
To you, as a viewer, to kind of figure out what is true and what isn't, right? Like, ultimately, if you've got all this conflicting information, the only one that can quell it is Ian, right? And Anissa. If they can open up the books for this event and let people look into...
Fucking true. True to heart, dude.
How this charity was operated, like, what percentage...
That's pretty fucking true. That's pretty true to heart.
...of the money was actually given to the fighters, what percentage of the money was spent on parties, what percentage of money was spent on general, like, stuff. If you're running a charity event, you should probably be pretty open and transparent, because ultimately these events are all built around trust. If they're not willing to provide that, then I think that's a pretty good reason for every single person...
That includes Harley. He isn't innocent either. Dude, you must be a new viewer. My whole chat, up until Harley, like, basically was dropping out of the event, hated him. Harley would come on and, like, fight with individual chatters on my stream because he would come and do these interviews over here and defend the fuck out of the event. We all know, everyone already knows Harley has defended Creator Clash. It is thoroughly documented on this channel.
To stay far away from this event, and that's just my opinion, of course.
Like, it's a lot of recency bias because Harley came out and just fucking mogged the entire company. And I do think he deserves a shitload of credit for that. But, like, yeah, no, he came on here and defended it multiple times.
Being a facetious individual, okay, it deserves to be talked about. If fighters are earning profit sharing off of these events, we need to have a serious discussion. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you should not be profiting off of an event that's billing itself as a charitable venture. I mean, it's incredibly unethical. There's a great actual...
I don't even think that's the case. I think there is, like, a reasonable amount of money that you could pull from an event like this. But if you're transparent about it, it's okay. If you're, like... you know, if you're translucent about it, then that's where the questions come in, right? If it's a normal percentage and you're transparent the entire time and it's like, hey, look, this is an additional stipend so that we can get bigger creators to come on. Like, there is a way to do this effectively. I don't believe that they had to put 100% of the proceeds to charity. The criticism comes because they were just kind of saying that shit and then they didn't do it. So, or at least... by anyone who's not an accounting major, probably didn't think they did it.
Off of an event that's billing itself...
Like, a rational, reasonable person would be kind of confused when they found out how the books actually looked.
...is a charitable venture. I mean, it's incredibly unethical. There's a great actual test for ethics here. It's if you're hiding information from the general public, which it seems like this information was hidden, if that information could potentially have people not pay for your event, then you should absolutely disclose that information. If telling the audience that there was profit sharing going on with the event ticket sales or pay-per-view sales to the fighters, instead of all of it effectively being gone to charity as much as it can, all right, that should have been disclosed. Because I'm telling you right now, if it was properly disclosed at the time, I wouldn't put my money towards the...
Dude, the rumor that I heard a couple of weeks ago that I teased still hasn't come out yet. And at this point, I don't know if it's going to, and I'm not going to leak it. But I heard a whole lot more about, like, some of the money that came into this event, and it's going to make your head spin if it ever comes out.
Pay-per-view, and I'm sure plenty of people wouldn't put their money towards the pay-per-view or even go to the event, because again, if you're billing...
That's one that you'd actually have to drop an allegedly on.
...something as charity, it should be charity first, and not enriching people, you know, initially. That, in my opinion, is the strong point that I want to make for this. Now, look, Creator Clash 2 actually did end up happening, and controversy aside, the event was a complete failure, right? Now, don't get me wrong, the fights were great. The party seemed to be even better, okay? According to the people that went...
Yeah, dude, I've been watching a whole lot of the party. It looked like a real riot. I love it, dude.
And the clips that came out that weekend, it seemed that beyond renting out a bigger venue, which didn't get filled like the last one, plenty of influencers were flown out, an entire hotel was rented to the fighters and influencers. And this would be confirmed very recently by Froggy when, apparently, according to him, he couldn't even get a hotel room for his family because I guess most of it was saved up for...
Where did he say that?
...influencers who had to be separated for what appeared to be security reasons. And I believe this was due to a possible stalker at the event.
Oh, Froggy Fresh is
Likewise,
here.
Like we Froggy Fresh, the whole gang is here.
He said,
oh, yeah.
Creator Clash 2 management wouldn't let me buy my family a room at the hotel in CC2, said there were no more rooms available. Because I guess that's the rooms they were using for...
But see, like, that... Why did Muta not drop an allegedly on that one? That was just him saying it.
For everybody they brought out.
And amongst all of this were lavish galas, parties where you had...
Dude, no, there's no way. Dude, the galls. Dude, the galls, dude. They were galls, dude. The galas. Dude, they were lavish galas. Oh my fucking god, I can't watch this.
Everybody they brought out.
Dude, the galas.
And amongst all of this were lavish
the fucking golems.
galas, parties.
We're using for everybody they brought out.
And amongst all of this were lavish galas, parties, where you had comedians apparently being paid around $20,000.
Action food. Now we all have monkeypox.
Oh my god, that's the clip that he fucking shows. That's base. Holy
Here, let me earn my
shit.
$20,000. All right, back to my prepared remarks.
Now, this is where I want to do a hard stop.
Holy
First
shit.
off, what we're about to discuss is pretty
Did he do it on purpose? I hope so. That was that was a fucking banger.
Speculatory financially. Just because we don't have access to any of the accounting sheets, and I doubt we'll ever be able to see these accounting sheets provided by the Creator Clash team. And honestly, even if Ian sent me the spreadsheets, I don't even know if I would believe if they weren't even altered at this point. Just because at this point there is so much miasma that I really don't think I could sit down and probably like I don't think I can believe anything at face value. I would be stupid to believe anything at face value.
One too.
But just generally understanding,
Dude, my asthma's acting up.
there was a lot of money that seemed to have been spent, even when it came to that comedian clip I just showed you.
Isn't it like miasma?
You know, until I see a pay stub,
Yeah, you say it that way? Okay, I'm just stupid then.
maybe that might have been a joke. I don't know. I'm leaving myself some breathing room here. But the thing is, everything looked pretty expensive. And I think if there's
Say wireless.
there's any metric to go off of is if there isn't any money raised for charity and, you know, there's money being given to fighters, obviously as stipends and a potential profit sharing of the ticket revenue, as it was evidenced by Froggy Fresh, the hotel couldn't have been cheap to rent out. And of course, you know, I'm not going to assume that even the influencers were flown out. That's not even confirmed anywhere, but there were a lot of influencers that did show up. They didn't really do a whole lot of promoting for the event, at least from what I could cursorily glance. But the thing about it is that obviously it looked very expensive. And I think if you had to gauge how expensive it was probably the fact that Ian was $250K in the red, you know, after all of the quote-unquote
Well, the rumor is that he was actually $500,000 in the red prior.
expenses. So realistically, I do wish that Creator Clash provided these expense sheets so we could better understand why the event failed, right? Was it, you know, how much money you spent on...
But again, like, this is what we should have been saying after Creator Clash 2, and I don't know, it's not like it's not like I could single-handedly do this, or if I pushed it maybe enough either, but yeah, we should have been demanding this shit earlier, and especially when they announced Creator Clash 3, saying like, where's the books for 2? This is ridiculous. We need more information on how this went bad the first time.
The arena? Was it how much money you spent on fighters? Was it how much money you spent on these parties that came after and before, it seemed, with the event?
Like, even for me, a criticism for my content is I took way too long to scrutinize the process for charity in Creator Clash 3, because I had just like mistakenly assumed that after losing money on an event, they would be smart the second time around. So I didn't even really engage with the concept that they would fuck this thing up as badly as they did. I thought for sure this thing was going to be a success. That's on me, obviously.
They're all things that I feel if people got a better grasp of, you know, maybe this would be far more scandalous. Maybe it would reinvigorate the scandal, if anything. But yeah, I feel like because this has been billed as a charity event and transparency is so important when it comes to charity, I really do wish Ian, Anissa, or really the current Creator Clash team just really nip this in the butt and maybe give us an idea of how things were really spent. Because it just seems like a complete mess.
But at the time, it made me wonder why Creator Clash wasn't even incorporated as a real nonprofit in the United States. Because
My neck, my back, I'm having a miasma attack.
at least then we could go into the IRS lookup, we could dig out their 990s, and we could actually confirm how much money they earned, how much money they disbursed, and also what their expenses look like. But since they're not open and transparent, we, the viewer, don't really know what's going on with the charitable aspect of this organization. Now, again, this reminds me a little bit of the completionist investigation that I did about 2 years ago.
Dude, both of these things have like charities, so this is like a lot. This is pretty similar. Actually, I was comparing it back then because these happened simultaneously. That was again why it's so shocking that people didn't push them more. There was a huge talk about like bad charity events the same year, like later in the year.
Now, when we looked into that, I did that investigation with Carl Jobst. We looked into the Open Hand Foundation, and we looked through all of their IRS documentation.
Billy, you still here? Dude, you did it when Carl lost?
Or as much as what was publicly available. For any charity, any legitimate charity, any charity that, you know, registers themselves as a 501c, you can dig up their, you know, number, you can dig up their tax number, you can go on.
There's Billy Mitchell.
onto the IRS, you can dig out the information, you can see how much people are earning, how much people are disbursing. It's a pretty good way to get the transparency of charities out there. Unfortunately, because of the way Creator Clash was set, we don't have access to the transparency. So you basically have to just trust you have to trust Anissa, you have to trust the event organizers to basically tell you the truth. And it seems the further we dig into this, especially with Creator Clash 3, which recently just imploded, it seems like the truth is ever so fleeting. Now, in the end, Ian did do a charity live stream on his channel where he actually made up the money, and I believe then some, and donated it to charity.
God, this is such a brutal clip, too. Look.
But again, this is...
Dude, he looks like he's gonna throw up. Actually, his breath probably never smelled better.
Charity live stream on his...
Holy shit, dude.
Channel where he actually made up the money, and I believe then some, and donated it to charities. But again, this is totally independent from the event. It could have been done at any time, and it doesn't take away from the abhorrent failure that is Creator Clash.
That's what I said. It's like, why do we need the boxing component if this guy can raise more money than this just by, like, defacing himself publicly? I mean, this is like his bread and butter, right? Embarrassing himself for fucking... I would say for money, but I don't know how much he's been making going on all these podcasts and stuff.
Clash 2. If anything, Creator Clash 2 showed that, first and foremost, this was a vanity event with a charity shield attached.
Dude, the ketchup smells his breath and is trying to jump back in the bottle.
Because again, you'd have to be a real asshole to criticize a charitable event, right? But I will be that asshole. It's my job as internal affairs to be the asshole in this situation. This was an event where clearly Ian and Anissa wanted to get in good graces with all the influencers involved. They wanted to create a yearly event where influencers
Cloutgasm
come together, and all of the criticism towards their failure would be washed away when people saw a fat check being given to charities. But see, at this point, when you're not even giving to the charities, it's totally okay for all of us to directly shit down the throats of the people mismanaging this event. Again, if they didn't decide to do these crazy extravagant parties, if they didn't decide to mismanage the event this bad, those charities would have received the money that was ultimately raised by people who thought that their money was going to charities and not to the pockets of fighters and possibly the organizers and comedians and people who...
To be fair though, if my fucking money went to Frogan's plane ticket, I don't know, dude. Personally, this might just be me, I would feel like I've contributed to charity, you know? Like if the money that I gave to Creator Clash, which of course I didn't, but if I did give money to Creator Clash and it went to housing Frogan for a night, I would feel pretty good about that, knowing that my money went to a better cause.
Who were basically organizing extravagant parties, all with money just raised from the actual fans, who thought it was supposed to be going to charity. Now, you would think that with Creator Clash 2 being such a monumental fuck-up, CC3 probably wouldn't have happened. But to understand the context of CC3's failure, we have to go all the way back to 1940, when a country known—
What?! Dude, this guy's just like... Dude, wait, you know what this is? Holy shit, this guy went back to the Holocaust.
To understand the context of CC3's failure, we have to go all the way back to 1940, when a country known as Israel was actually formed. Oh, you mean they tied that into the event? What the f? Headquarters...
Dude, no, you know what this just reminded me of every Gamer from Mars video. Hold on, look at this. You ever watch this? We're actually going to derail for a second. Every gamer... No, yeah, it's... Dude, we're going to watch the One Good Quentin Reviews video. Quentin Reviews actually made, like, the funniest thing I've ever seen before. Is it still up? Oh, no, dude. Hold on, wait. Yeah, here it is. 8 years ago. Unironically, this is literally... This is the greatest fucking video on YouTube. Satirize. It's 8 years ago and it's still fairly accurate. And I love fucking Gamer from Mars, but this is a great fucking parody.
10 years of YouTube history, there have been plenty of people who have succeeded as well as some people who have failed. And you wouldn't be surprised, most likely, to hear that there have been many people to scrape their way to the top of the totem pole. One of the most successful people in recent memory has been Felix Schellberg, better known as PewDiePie.
Here it is, here it is.
The Third Reich was a period of rule in Germany from 1933...
Dude, that drop gets me every fucking time. Because every commentary video essay was like this back then, where it's like, we've got to hit the 10-minute mark. We've just got to hit the 10-minute mark. Hell yeah, I love Windy.
Better known as PewDiePie.
The Third Reich was a period of rule in Germany from 1933 to 1945, a time controlled entirely by the Nazi Party. The leader of said organization was a man named Adolf Hitler, who has grown extremely controversial since his reign and death.
Unironically, this could just be a video documenting Creator Clash, and this section would still fit.
Due to his leadership and the stances that he advocated for. By the late 1930s, Hitler and his regime began increasingly aggressive territorial demands, and by 1940 Hitler had captured a large chunk of Europe, which of course threatened Great Britain quite a bit. Hitler had planned for a worldwide conquest, and he likely would have come somewhat close to this had the war not ended.
Alright, don't worry, he's gonna get it back on track in a second.
In the mid-1940s. Interestingly, one country that Nazi Germany did not attempt to invade was Sweden due to the lack of resources and a long list of alternative concerns.
You see where we're going here? You see where we're going?
Little did those involved in World War II know that Sweden had a lot more value than they would likely foresee.
It's PewDiePie, right? It's PewDiePie?
As they would in due time be starting an invasion of their own. Felix Schellberg was born on the 24th of October 1989 to Lotta and Ulf Schellberg. Raised in the city of Gothenburg, the developing PewDiePie had an interest in both art and video games. It was often noted that he found an amusement in creating illustrations of such iconic characters as Sonic the Hedgehog and Super Mario Bros. Sonic the Hedgehog and the Super Mario Brothers were both video game franchises first created in the 1980s and 1990s by rival video game publishers
I recommend you watch
Nintendo.
This whole video. It's really good. It's a really fucking good video. It's a great satire of like that era of commentary. But yeah, that's literally the vibe I got off of this.
To understand the context of CC3's failure, we have to go all the way back to 1940, when a country known as Israel was actually formed. Oh, you mean they...
But unironically, this is like legit. This is actually fair.
Tied that into the event? What the f? Headquarters is telling me that this massive political issue that we're talking about has suddenly bled into this event. So if you look at Creator Clash 3, it was announced early February of this year and was originally set for June 28, 2025 in Tampa, Florida at the Amalie Arena. And I guess at this point, they might be getting a good rate or something. I have no idea. If you couldn't fill the last venue out, how the fuck would you expect to fill this out this time? Again, to look at Creator Clash as an entity, they were already not putting in any advertising. So I don't know what they were expecting with filling this place out. People looked at the heat map shortly before this event, like a few weeks ago, and it looked...
People. Guys, sources say that People were looking at the heat map. Who is People? People is his wife. That's so funny. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, just to be clear, but I love that cutaway.
Really place out. People looked at the heat...
The fuck was... Why are we looking at Morgue Pie?
Map.
What was that? What was that, Muta?
Shortly before this event, like a few weeks ago, and
many people are saying it's not like a Taylor Ends where like you source yourself, but
like they really weren't selling a boatload of seats anyways. In fact, to the point where even sections of the arena had to be basically cordoned off so that people could be more amalgamated closer to the actual fight. So okay, this
dude, she has a name. She's saying like, I don't even get a name. Mutahar's wife.
Time to prevent Creator Clash from not donating to charity, which
I'm gonna get a death stare if I see these two next week.
is apparently one of their mission statements. The charity this time was Stand Up to Cancer, and unfortunately I have to say that cancer seems like it's doing a pretty good job of winning, because they have a goal of $1 million, which I guess this time they decided to not properly advertise, because before this $200,000-ish something from, I believe, the Hassan Piker...
He's not wrong, cancer is winning this fight.
...community came in. They raised around $10,000, maybe a little bit over, from my metrics. So again, all related to internet...
Wait, what? Oh, okay, yeah.
...drama. They were able to raise up this community.
I thought he just put up on screen 200,000 and went, yeah, Hassan raised about 10 grand for this event. I'm completely wrong.
From a secondary community, not even through the...
Oh, you're right. Allegedly his wife.
...efforts of Ian. And
I haven't seen the wedding pictures, folks. I haven't seen the ring.
And I would say, honestly, even the Fighters Associated, they were barely promoting this. So this time, they had Tiltify that was basically organizing the ability for them to raise the charitable funds. So people could just donate to Tiltify, and that money would be separated from Creator Clash raising any money. So basically, at this moment in time, the structure seems to be that Creator Clash is a for-profit event with a GoFundMe link in the description below. And if that sounds incredibly harsh, just wait until we get to the transparency section. So
intrusive much? Oh yeah, don't wait. Just wait until he boots up Black Ops 1 on Steam. Yeah, just fucking wait.
Creator Clash 3 had less...
Just wait until he tries to play Gears of War Ultimate Edition on Steam.
...promotion from the fighter roster.
It's a joke, for the record. It's a joke. It's going back to a previous thing that's probably not even in the VOD. Oh shit, dude.
Which, wasn't small. They had big channels. They had Funky Frogbait. You had some pretty popular Minecraft channels like Tubbo and Sap.
Billy Mitchell wrote a misleading GoFundMe.
map. I mean, it was a pretty decent card, to be honest with you. And the problem is, none of these people were really doing a lot of promotion. I mean, maybe something in a tertiary, like, you know, social media platform, maybe like
Dude, the biggest promotion was Harley calling into my stream.
Here, maybe like an Instagram story, maybe once in a blue moon, but nothing really that I saw on their main channel. They weren't hyping this event up, which again, if you're not promoting your event, then you can't really be surprised when it fails. Now, remember how I said the face of the event is Ian and Anissa? They are the faces. Well, Ian decided to...
You know what's funny? They'll fucking scream, cry, come, and fucking whatever. Whenever you talk about how Creator Clash 2 failed because, like, parties and shit like that and their mismanagement, they'll be like, we were in the fucking red before the parties. The parties just made it worse. We still would have failed if it wasn't for the... If the parties were still here, that's their defense for it. And then simultaneously, they'll just pretend the event wasn't on a fucking doom spiral prior to the Ethan Klein drama, and they already fucking had problems with tickets before that fight had even really gotten underway, right? And there was no interest in this event. I don't care if the Ethan Klein drama never happens. I think there's a good chance this event fucking bombs anyway.
To do something pretty wild in the lead up to Creator Clash 3. He brought back Content Cop. Now, this time, Content Cop would be targeting H3.
And that clip that was just posted right here, just to be clear, was like the only time he actually wore it in the video. That's so funny. That was like the entire time in the actual video he wore the suit.
H3. You know, the same H3, by the way, that would provide him free advertising, free promotion. I mean, Ethan stuck his neck out for Ian when it was not a profitable time to do so, okay? Remember...
Yeah, dude, you know what's crazy? I hate when people stick their neck out for other people. It's a totally... Yeah, dude, fuck those guys, dude. Fuck those nice dudes who fucking stick their neck out for people.
Ian was already on the outs with that commentary community. He really wasn't someone that was in...
Yeah, dude, fuck that shit when they're out in the commentary community.
Good graces with his old former fan base. And yet, despite all the public pressure, Ethan Klein and the H3 community did actually stand on his side. So the guy that would provide you free advertising, free promotion, even some of his employees, AB and Alina, were actually fighting.
All right, but let's be fucking calling a spade here, Mutahar. If Ethan Klein started yelling Sig Heil or whatever and made the fucking Hitler song that Ye was posting, all right, would it be like, well, you're going to go after this guy and he's really contributed a lot to your brand. And it's like, well, Nick, that's unrealistic. That's insane. Yeah, but like the Quartering would tweet that, you know? There are people who would tweet that. If fucking Ethan became like a super Nazi or something like that, they would say, wow, you backstabbed your friend right now or something. So,
in the event. Those two are really good people, by the way. So you might be wondering, why make a content cop on Ethan Klein? So Ethan's last several months at this point, I would say over a year, he's been fighting against the Twitch political community, where he made a content nuke on a prominent controversial online figure known as Hassan Piker. He's been calling out Hassan on this near constant basis, and because of all this, there's been an escalation on the things that have been happening to everyone involved in here. But notably for Ethan, he's had CPS called onto his house. He's had skulls apparently sent to his house, like actual human skull. It's all really up stuff, okay? You know, it goes beyond internal affairs. It gets to
iDubbbz thinks that's funny.
The point where the FBI is now being involved in situations. And according to Ethan, since CPS showed up to his house, he's basically been on a warpath, and all the rules of engagement have changed. And to be completely real with you, I'm not surprised that the rules of engagement have changed for a man that has seen CPS shown up at his doorstep. Now, none of this online conflict seems to be stopping. In fact, I don't think it'll stop until somebody gets a permaban. But Ian decided to jump onto this and create a content
Guys,
cop on
the
Ethan's
only way that we can save charity is by banning Hassan Piker permanently from every social media site and debanking him. I'm kidding. All right, that's obviously not what he's saying, but there are people who act like that on fucking Twitter, where it's like, we have to debank Hassan Piker, otherwise the cancer will never get the money, dude.
behavior. He talked about the force of good that was the Twitch politics community, allegedly, commented on Ethan's coverage of Israel.
Adam McIntyre, there he is.
And their current genocide of the Palestinian people. And look, I'm not a political expert, so I'm just going to keep my foot out of this. There's a lot of scholars, experts in the field, definitely not just on the internet here. A lot of good books you can read, a lot of experts you can look at, a lot of organizations you can go to. I mean, just looking at what Amnesty International is saying, you can get truly informed opinions, not the opinions of my dumbass, okay? So
oh my god, we watched this already. I'm not gonna do the fucking thing. Go watch the other VOD. Oh, dude. Guys, not my opinions. Meanwhile, he goes on a fucking debate a couple days later and he's screaming, "There are children dying in Palestine! They're dying!"
I just want to separate this right here.
They're fucking dying!
Now, all of a sudden, Creator Clash had the attachment of one of the most hot-button political issues of our current modern era to it. And again, for a brand...
He's not wrong. I'm sorry, dude. You can either have it one way or the other. You should go read books and become aware the correct way and read all the articles and become informed. You're not going to hear it from my stupid ass trying to explain politics to you. And then 2 days later, you're like, "That's fucking children dying! They're being blown apart!
And that's all about positivity, inclusiveness, and just raising money for charities. The last thing any brand wants is this. So you remember that fighter card that I talked about really early and I said it was pretty good? Well, if you go to the actual fight card now, you'll notice that for the first time, I'm not joking, we did not edit this in. This is a to be announced.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. There are allegedly children dying.
Versus to be announced.
Yeah, dude. TBD versus TBD. I'm gonna need some CBD for this.
Yeah, your prize.
Some THC.
Fight.
Some Tommy C. Have you heard about the drama?
Yeah, both the fighters have dropped out. Now, Tubbo and Sapnap are still in. Kevin Lurdwichagol is still in, fighting against Myth. You've got Odd Ones Out versus Will Neff. You've got Jay Larray versus Ali Spagnola. You've got Missing No versus Ginger Pale. Trevor Evarts versus Ren Corridor Digital. You've got Missing No fighting Funky Frogbait. And you've got Dad versus Jago. So, ultimately speaking, you might be like, whoa, how do you end up losing these fighters? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the first fighter to go was Lena Ayat from the H3H3 podcast. Now, due to
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. No, that's not right. No, it was Harley. Harley was the first fighter. You know, Harley was first, because I heard Harley, then I heard Lena, and I couldn't tell you about Lena because she wasn't public yet. No, it was Harley. I knew all of it the same night. It's possible that he had, like, info when I got info, so maybe technically Lena was the first to go. But no, publicly, as far as you guys know, it was not Lena.
The internet beef, this content cop between Ian and Ethan, it just didn't make sense for her to be on the card. So for her, all that time and training basically...
Lena was not the first to announce. You are incorrect. You are 100% not correct on that.
Basically amounted to effectively nothing. The poor girl was thrown into the ringer, and she became effectively the first casualty of this event. Initially, when this happened, she actually had no idea about this. The content cop literally dropped as the...
Unless Lena had announced it prior to being on Ethan's stream, Ethan had announced it after Harley. Harley had already dropped from the event.
History podcast was live. They reacted to it live, and Lena herself apparently had a panic attack as all of this was happening. So again, it's not just the lack of transparency.
Okay, that's fine. We'll do some research now, because I am expecting you guys to fucking concede on this, okay? You're going to concede on this, because I'm going to pull up the announcement from the day that fucking Lena had announced it, and I'm going to preempt that with Harley had dropped yesterday, or a couple days prior, and I guarantee you, it will all be there. Let's see. In which case I'm wrong, the VOD will never know. Here it is. Creator Clash 2, doomed to fail.
Nice enough?
Main event canceled. Another Creator Clash fight has canceled. Oh wait, I can't play this.
I honestly don't know how anyone is still fighting in this, knowing that
because even when we don't say something, they think we're saying
fight
something.
In CC2 and see how that goes and go, yay, I want to do that
I don't know
again.
either, Zilla. It's
not
crazy.
money.
Brother, those child protect dropped out of Creator Clash. You're like, wait, what is Creator Clash? Oh yeah, it's that YouTube boxing charity event that shouldn't exist. Just straight up shouldn't exist. We got like a month and a half now until this thing. It's May. This is June. Okay, I'll be at VidCon when I... Like, dude, I'm sorry. This wasn't supposed to be on the docket tonight. I come to. Because we find out that there's an issue with promotion, right? There's an issue with promotion. And I mean, I'm 100% right.
The same as if the need, right?
Where's the actual announcement? Creator Clash 3 needs a new main event. Where is this? Concede. I'm correct. Concede. My bad. Sorry. Thank you guys for hitting the goal, by the way. I appreciate it. All right, so this is the big topic for today, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you
All
for
right.
the $5.
Lena has dropped out of Creator Clash. We're going to take a look at the whole segment. I'm going to be honest with you. I kind of teased that I'd known something about this because I knew about this when the Harley stuff was happening. Oh, would you look at that, chat? Would you fucking look at that, chat?
Transparency to the public, but it's also to the fighters. The fighters seem to be the ones that have no clue what's going on. In fact, if anything, they have to be the spokespeople when they don't even get talked to by Ian and Anissa or the event runners themselves. The event runners effectively hide behind them and just let them be the lightning rods for the public discourse surrounding this dog shit.
Dude, we can be bees, dude. We don't have to be charity. We can be bees.
So the next fighter to go was Harley Morenstein. And again, it shouldn't surprise you that Mr. Morenstein wouldn't take too kindly.
I feel like he tried to do like an ultra Jewish read of his name, and that it was like Morenstein.
to the fact that, for
I don't know,
him,
it didn't really work. It
felt like the event was attached to the
I think you're supposed to go Morenstein, the Steens.
Israel-Palestine
He
situation.
had like an H in there.
And him being a Jewish person didn't really feel all that comfortable.
Front and center.
Hardy Morenstein.
We're saying some
Dude,
crazy
you got full Hitler with it, dude.
shit, in my opinion, and I was not comfortable endorsing an event that would endorse these
They were
people
saying
and their words.
anti-Semitic stuff. Like, what were they saying?
They were like saying things like, well, one specific thing that like kind of that was out of all the things that had been said. I saw a clip of Hassan, and I knew they were going to be doing a fundraiser with him, but he was like, "Oh yeah, if you've ever said anything positive about Israel, you shouldn't be allowed to even be a dog catcher. You should be treated like a neo-Nazi." And I was like, "Hey, my family and friends in my community, that's so crazy. All of them."
Okay, I wonder why Ian would decide to go down this road. I don't know what he was thinking. He could have waited until after the event was done so that he could have destroyed, he could have run the content cop instead of destroying the Creator Clash 3 event that, they were meticulously working for. It wasn't just an Ian and Anissa thing. There's a lot of people behind an event that are working to get this shit running. They had no empathy. For a man that's learned empathy,
They had no empathy.
He
brought great dishonor.
Clearly does not have the empathy for the people he's working with, for the fighters that he's representing, for the cancer charity he wants to fucking raise money for.
This is all facts. It's all facts. It reads as a little preachy, but it's all facts.
This is a bad officer, okay? Bad guy. Now, at this point, nothing was coming out of the Creator Clash 3 socials, so again, the fighters had to be the ones that were announcing all the problems.
Yeah, so he's going to talk about how the fucking holiday weekend came, and there are, like, people who desperately need, like, information to cancel their plans. And it's just not out there. People are asking Ticketmaster. They're like, no, the event's not canceled.
So next fighter to actually leave here was Freddie Wong. Now, Freddie Wong, in one of the Discords, shares this. He
Wait, what? I don't think Freddie Wong was the... he didn't leave until... he probably is the next fighter. No, LA Beast is the third fighter. The order of events of people that were... It could be because it happened behind the scenes again. Maybe he has behind the scenes info. The order is Harley, Lena, LA Beast, and then Freddie Wong.
Actually is pretty well spoken, so I want to kind of read this out.
Well, Freddie might be last. Freddie might not be last. Freddie didn't formally announce it until after, or if ever. LA Beast announced it publicly first, and then we found out later when the website was updated.
So illustrious fellow warriors and event handlers,
Freddie didn't leave. No, but Freddie has since left now. But I think Mutahar thinks he left here and he didn't, or at least it wasn't represented in the pages.
Hope everyone's getting a good.
Well, because we don't even know the only reason we know that Freddie wasn't dropped for this statement is because they said he had like Harley said he had a different thing and he couldn't attend the new date. No, if he couldn't attend the new date, then he didn't drop here. LA Beast must have dropped before, I imagine, right?
Rest day in the wake of the new announcement video detailing the change in ownership structure of Creator Clash, or to be more accurate,
I don't know, none of this really matters, but...
The brief statement detailing changes in the ownership structure of Creator Clash, followed by 28 minutes of continued relitigation of what I'll charitably call internet nonsense, there remain some lingering questions that I, as well as the other fighters, would appreciate clarity on. As I noted in my previous message, I would expect communication with the fighters to be the absolute top of the priority list, as I don't believe any of us enjoy finding out about such...
Alright, we all know this thing. We don't have to watch this part again, right? Let's see. LA Beast. Okay, now we're going to talk about LA Beast.
Internet...
Yeah, I think Mutahar thinks he dropped right here, and that, at least publicly, is not how it appears.
Beefs always pretty much align with no critical thinking, and just siding with whatever your favorite personality really is. Which is actually a big shame, and I totally understand where Freddie's coming from. So, bottom line is, they were not very upfront about this, okay? They basically threw these guys entirely under the bus. Now, even more so, LA Beast, a guy that famously doesn't want to get into any of this online beef, he even left too. Due to a laundry list of reasons that will be revealed to you shortly, I unfortunately will no longer be boxing in the Creator Clash event. It's the best decision for me and my team at this time. All I wanted to do was put on a show, get paid, and ultimately raise money for charity. And of course, one person says, "Are you scared?" And he says he's scared of the multiple red flags and irreversible damage it can do to one's brand by being associated with the event.
Based, true, epic, gamer, appreciate it.
So that immediately struck me. I was like, what red flag could there be? How could you get a hit to your brand just by being associated? So,
wait, what? Do you know how late in the game this one was? That was the red flag? Guys, we had a smoke signal after all the stuff had already happened. That's when I realized this might be a bit peculiar.
So again, even beyond all of this, even fighters like Dad, who really, weren't getting into the whole...
I didn't realize how big the Israel-Palestine conflict was on this event until somebody said that after everyone already knew.
Whole internet blood sports about this even came out and basically told me before the event, effectively in his video, that it's postponed.
That was probably the tweet that made him look into it. I don't know about that, dude. Muta was already on the H3 podcast by that point, so he was already clued into this whole thing. I think it's just he's just selling it for the video, I think.
And it was moved to Los Angeles.
I'm still boxing. People have been asking me all over Discord, YouTube, Instagram, what's happening with the fight. It's still happening. It's still going on. It's not happening June 28th. That's out there now, so I can say that. But
Thank God for Dad, though. He popped in, said exactly what needed to be said at a time when nobody else wanted to say it. Fucking shout out to him. And all he wanted to do was raise some money for charity. Good for... Oh my God, I'm so fucking dead. I'm so fucking... It happened again, bro! Come on!
Come out soon.
So again, why the fuck am I hearing all this from the fighters? Their job is to beat the shit out of each other for fun, not to be public relations, Ian, okay? I don't understand what's going on. You're supposed to be an actual fucking expert at this. Why are you playing this entire game like a complete moron, okay?
Fuck,
Jesus
dude.
Christ. How were you ever on the force to begin with? Now, I have saved probably the best for last. Ian decides in his follow-up in the Content Cop, he wants to now distance himself from the event because of the drama, okay?
Future.
Just had to do a little coke right there. Okay, I'm kidding.
And in closing, I will reiterate so that, there's no ambiguity about it. Anissa and I are no longer involved in Creator Clash. We're stepping down completely. We hope that the event is a massive success this year. We hope that all the fighters...
Him and Anissa relinquished their position in the event.
Drugs! Whoa, dude, that pause is insane. That is a crazy pause, dude. Holy shit. What the fuck?
All responsibility is gone now because they're detached.
He was mid-who boy right there.
They're away from the event after they decided to completely tank it with their own actions. So no one, I want to just stress this, people have said that a lot of this event was damaged because of other people shitting on it, but no one else damaged this event harder than Ian and Anissa. It wasn't Ethan Klein, it wasn't really anyone. You could send the Terminator back in time and terminate me, Ethan Klein, anybody criticizing the shitty event, and it would not change Ian and Anissa's actions to the point of them ruining their own event.
No, please don't. That would be awful. I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
It was their actions, their mismanagement.
No, don't do that.
Their brain-dead use of internet drama and attaching it to one of the most promising internet, boxing events, one of the most...
No way, no!
I shouldn't make jokes like that. One of my fans will invent time travel and get
Thoughts on
me,
this
bro.
Fortnite season so far?
It's
also,
fine.
Will you be buying
Too many
the
cars.
One Punch Man skins when they drop?
I'm not really into anime, so maybe not. I don't know.
Promise.
Yeah, no, you can't make jokes like that. Otherwise, somebody's going to invent time travel and then take it out on you.
Internet events you could have to raise charity, and they ruined it. So now CC3 eventually...
a virgin? No, I am not. Why would so many people be Googling
says something like officially, and the event is now in Hollywood Palladium, a much more humble venue in sunny Los Angeles, California. So one thing that's also interesting...
He's been doing this a lot lately, where he's got the Google Maps flyover B-roll.
Too is you would expect the event would make sense to be hosted in Florida because boxing regulations are a little bit more relaxed. But then to move it over to California where things are a little bit more expensive, there's a bit more checks on regulations.
Good point.
It makes me wonder why that move happened.
It's to get the people there and not have to pay for room and board, or I guess flights maybe. Room and board still is probably going to get paid for.
And again, you have to remember, people who were at the event, now that it's...
Well, because the Creator Clash is an event for all of Anissa's friends, and a lot of them are probably based out of California. It's not for YouTubers. It's a VidCon alternative for the approved people. Yeah, it's to put it around where content creators already live.
Happening in Florida, there were a lot of people that were willing to fly to the event. And given the fact that, for some people, they can't even refund their seats, they can't even refund their hotels, they can't even refund their shit, these people are now sitting on a massive expense that has effectively been ruined by Ian and Anissa's shitty behavior.
Well, you know what? There's another main point here to go with there. It is kind of a massive expense.
And you know what else is massive?
Okay, sorry.
So why, if they already got burned flying out to Tampa, Florida, would they choose to now fly to even more expensive Los Angeles, California? Which I guess the Creator Clash 3 new administration thinks most creators live there, and that couldn't really be further from the truth. I'm sure some of the richer creators live there, but generally...
Wait, did you go and like dox every? So to do the research, I actually doxed every single person.
What's the name of the guy? Keemstar Orbiter, Nick Oreo, Mr. Oreo.
Guys, to do this, what we had to do is we had to get all of them. We baited all of them into playing Kino der Toten on Black Ops 3 on Steam. And then after that, I was able to determine exactly which one.
A lot of people are flying from all over the country. I don't think anybody who's burned flying to Florida now on Creator Clash 3 is going to even risk it again to fly, same year by the way, over to Los Angeles, California. Now, on the Creator Clash YouTube channel, Ethan Nestor, Aaron Hansen, and Alana Pierce come together to give all the updates on Creator Clash 3. And I don't even consider this to be a great video. So there's a couple choice segments out of it.
I don't even consider this to be a great video.
But the reason why this video isn't that good, in my opinion, is they never really properly address the rampant spending from Creator Clash 2. Like, I guess most we touched...
Well, because they want you to think that the bad people are gone, but they don't talk about how the lunatics are still running the asylum. The people who brought you Creator Clash 1 and 2 are still in the building.
Upon it is that it's mismanaged.
And you know, likewise, like we were devastated as a fighter and as a producer of the event. It was awful that happened, and the audience too. Like to know that like buying into the event and watching the event, thinking that their money's going to charity, and then it didn't turn out that way.
Then why did you guys do it that way? Yeah, dude. Oh, I would hate this. This sucks. Why would anyone ever do this? Guy who does this.
Two Creator Clashes, they ran on the same model. Naively, we believed that with the first Creator Clash that the success of the event would be shared with the charity. So funding it through various sponsorships, but mostly ticket sales and pay-per-view sales, pay for the event, and then everything else is gravy for charity, which luckily worked for that year. We raised $1.3 million for charity. It was great. With that thinking, we moved on to Creator Clash 2, scaled it up a bit, and it turned out that we weren't able to make that money back and to reach those goals, which again was very devastating.
Yeah, that was actually all the...
What the... I can't. I'm done. I'm done after this. Why did he just fucking grab the mic, sniff in it, and pull it closer?
Goals, which again was very devastating.
Yeah, that was actually all the explanation that I feel we're going to be getting. That they thought that they could just scale things up for Creator Clash 2, and I guess the money would be there. I feel like it would just be more honest to admit.
Dude, just like, it ain't easy being cheesy. Just like snorted a fucking line, dude.
That yes, there was a lot of increased spending, and a lot of the mismanagement that had occurred because of it was the fact that money was put towards things that took away from the charities, okay? Maybe you...
Dude, he just snorted a vaccine booster shot before he said that, just to make sure he was like up to full strength.
You didn't need to have a much bigger venue. Maybe you didn't need to have the booked out hotel. Maybe you didn't need to have the extra parties, right? Maybe one party is fine enough, but you didn't need to have like, you know, the super expensive looking gala where apparently it seems comedians were, I guess, allegedly hired for $20,000. It seems. You know, these are all things that properly should have been mentioned in this video, which, again, I know why it wasn't mentioned. It's never going to be a good look to convince people, but again, why even bother making the video or even coming up with an explanation? When the explanation we do have here just feels so fleeting, if anything. Just be honest. You guys did not really factor in the charities when it came to the parties initially, right? Like, if you were spending money on the...
Yeah, I think the most important thing that you can do is factor it all in. Which is why today's channel sponsor, Factor, has you covered. I'm kidding. It's not happening. That's not happening. I'm not sponsored. Stop.
Parties. Why not even factor that in? Why were the charities not the first foremost expense, right? Why were they not, you know, initially the pick? And the other thing was the conflicting statements, right? Like who was getting a purse, who wasn't getting a purse. A lot of these transparent like blurbs that, you know, I talked about with Creator Clash 2, in my opinion, weren't properly addressed in this video. They did, however, say that they were going to refund the physical event, because obviously they have to. It wasn't happening in Florida. The pay-per-view, from my understanding, is a refund, which you have to ask for, and given how mismanaged the event is, I personally would seek one. So again, I think you can just email them and get it. But ignoring this video, their transparency page is the real piece de resistance. So according...
All right, I don't need to see the transparency page. He's going to go, wow, that's great. This video's fine. This is an inoffensive video. I don't really have a problem with people doing summary stuff, but to be honest, I don't really see much of a more... I don't know why we even... I guess dig deeper than we've already dug. If anything, this is just another excuse to yell at Mutahar for like 3 hours. Which I'm happy to do, by the way. But yeah, holy shit, dude. Yeah, that's our EHD. I think it's gonna wind down now. I legitimately do think that like we're probably I don't know. I think this story is gonna slow. I say that, but then now apparently Ethan has like finished off the Ryan Kavanaugh stuff. And is now planning on embarking on like a legal conquest tour, I imagine, because he's gonna get one out of the way before he starts another one.